Hey, what's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? We are the Box Office Dynasty. I'm Jack,
And I'm Josh.
and we thank everyone listening to this right now. We have a great episode ahead. I'm like, this is one of the most excited I've been for an episode. We're talking Project Hail Mary, which we're gonna get into that very in depth. Spoilers ahead for Project Hail Mary when we start talking about that. We're gonna talk about the new trailers that came out for some big upcoming movies: Dune Part 3, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. We're gonna talk about the Invincible Season 4 premiere. Um, and get into some AI talk at the end. I couldn't remember what this is. This is a jam-packed
It
episode.
was
There's a
Al
lot.
talk.
It was
Before we
yeah.
started recording, Jack thought it was Al, and we'll get into that at the end later, but yeah, it's some
Yeah.
Al talk for you
AI
today.
looks like Al, A, capital, lowercase L, But, dude, Project Hail Mary, Spider-Man, Invincible, Dune, great shit we're talking about today. I'm very excited. I'm a little sick, so just if I sound like shit or sound different, my bad, y'all. But how you doing, Josh?
I'm pretty good. You're rocking the BOD shirt,
Yeah,
actually. Look
dude.
at
I
that.
had
That's pretty sick.
literally just changed right before we started recording because I was like, I haven't worn this in a while. Let me throw
No.
it on.
Yeah,
And I
no,
got one for
that's
you too next time I see you. Can't
yeah,
forget.
no, I don't forget. I still have something for you too.
You got some merch for me.
I do have
Yeah,
something for you.
yeah. How's
Just
everything
sit.
good?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. Just had a little tussle with AT&T today.
Yeah, you
But
were busy this
that's
morning.
that is all taken care of now, and I'm excited for this episode as well. Like you said, there's just a lot going on. You know what I
A
mean? I
lot. This is a
feel like
crazy month.
yeah, I feel like it really has been jam packed, and I feel like I thought I'm not saying I thought this, but I think some people may have said, okay, once the Oscars are over, because they have now come and gone, obviously, I think there was this idea that maybe things would slow down a little bit.
Not
But when
here.
you get smacked with a big blockbuster the literal week after the Oscars, and then all this other great stuff going on coming into spring, as spring has officially sprung now.
Dude, we got a lot coming up.
I mean, there's a lot going on, and
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into it. We have some news nuggets actually, quite a few today. If we want to get into right away into
Yeah,
the
let's
fun
jump
stuff
into it
here.
because it's gonna
I
be
know
a big
you said you have
episode.
one, and I have a little more than one, so I'm gonna let you take it away first.
Well, I thought this was really cool. I feel like you might know about this, but let me just say it. So, Project Hail Mary, we're gonna talk about it in depth, but it's directed by Lord and Miller, the same guys who did the Spider-Verse movies, which we adore, absolutely adore. Apparently, Lord and Miller were attached to direct a Flash movie many years ago, and they have announced that they're keeping the details of that scrapped Flash movie hidden because they want James Gunn to hire them to direct the Flash for the DCU. I read this and I was so hyped because James Gunn's a smart guy. He sees this track record. He's at Day of the Time. He's got to hire them. I mean, James Gunn, we know you're watching this. Lord Miller for a Flash movie? I mean, how awesome does that sound?
I actually didn't know that. I thought I had heard that they were at one point working on a Star Wars script or
I'd eat
something
that shit up too.
that didn't end up working out for one reason or another with Kathleen Kennedy. But no, that would be awesome. And I feel
Yeah,
like those two, Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, fit in perfectly with what the DCU's, building tonally and narratively. So James, you are listening because like I said, we are buddies from Twitter. Like I know you
true.
replied to me.
You
So
guys
like
talk.
we're pals, man. We get lunch on the first Thursday of every month. So
Oh, that's cute.
make it happen, dude. Make it
Yeah, I
happen.
mean, they would fit in so well, and the Flash specifically would be so perfect for them after seeing like the Spider-Verse movies. I just think it'd be such a missed opportunity if they want it for DCU not to have them involved.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
No, that would be a missed opportunity. They need to do that.
for sure.
Um
What do you got for me?
all right, I got a few things that I'm going to lay out here in this segment of the
Lay 'em out.
episode. The first two, cuz I have a little theme with everything after those, but the first two, the first one is that we finally have a sort of release date for the new film The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which is David Fincher's sequel to the Quentin Tarantino classic Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is finally we finally have been given a month. It will be coming out on Netflix in August. So we can expect it this
Whoa.
summer.
I didn't know it was going to be that soon.
Yeah, this summer we are getting the sequel, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, which should be exciting. As we know, it is written by Tarantino, but not directed by him. It's being directed by David Fincher, which is really funny because we're also getting The Social Reckoning this year, which is an Aaron Sorkin written sequel to The Social Network, but Sorkin isn't directing it, Fincher is.
Yeah,
So
and
does
Fincher's
that
got
mean...
he's got a great track record. Does that mean he can't write? Like, what does that mean?
No, what I'm saying is, does that mean Aaron Sorkin now has to, or Quentin Tarantino, to complete the cycle, would have to direct an Aaron Sorkin sequel?
Well, has Sorkin...
Because Sorkin is directing a Fincher sequel,
Oh, wait.
and Fincher is directing a Tarantino sequel.
Oh, and Tarantino
So
needs
now
to direct a
Tarantino's got to
Sorkin
direct a
sequel.
Sorkin sequel.
Well,
So
does Sorkin have any movies that a sequel could ever come out?
I don't know. You could do like the trial of the Chicago 8. You know, they
Oh,
added
he did
another
Yeah, dude.
member, or like
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen will be in it.
yeah, or like I don't know, Molly's Sport instead of Molly's Game. I don't know, like
yeah,
something.
okay.
I'm thinking off the top of my head with Sorkin here.
Yeah, or just Molly's Game
Um,
too. You know, that works too.
Yeah, I guess if you want to be typical about it.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
anyway, so that's what's happening.
That's cool. That's
Long
soon.
story short.
Love that.
The other piece of news before I get into my my lightning round is actually something that I thought is what you were going to come here with. It just got announced, so maybe you don't know it. Wonder Man has officially been renewed for a second season at Disney and Marvel. So
I
there
saw
will be
that.
another season coming of Wonder Man.
I knew, you know what? I had a second news nugget, and I was like, fuck, what was it? And it was that. I totally forgot to write
That's
it down.
really what I thought you were coming
Yeah.
out here with.
Yeah,
I just
no,
saw that before we
Did
came
you?
on.
You never saw the first season, right?
Not yet. But there, I thought, and it's funny because I thought you said this was more likely a one and done show.
Well,
So
it's a huge surprise that, see, this is the problem, is that they built it up as a one and done show. It ended perfectly. It has no real connection to the rest of the MCU. And now are they making season 2 because of the great reception it has, or because they actually planned for a season 2? That's kind of worrying a little bit, because
I think
it got
are
great
sure
reviews.
of the answer.
It got great reviews and it was awesome, but at season 2, we don't need that. I would love to see it, but we don't need it.
Fair enough. You know what? But I guess we'll have to see what happens. It does kind of, not that I wouldn't have watched it anyway. It's been on my watch list, Wonder Man, but I definitely think knowing that there is more coming and that it's a well-received show and like that there is now hype behind this, that makes me a little more excited, you know.
Yeah,
to get on it.
you got to check it out for sure. And you know, it makes me question this whole thing of the rumors of the MCU reboot. You know, that's people are saying after Secret Wars, the MCU is going to be like a soft
Like
reboot.
a soft reboot, yeah.
Yeah, but like if they keep announcing things that are coming out, I'm assuming Wonder Man season 2 is coming out after Secret Wars. Secret Wars doesn't that come out next year? Isn't it like a year after Doomsday?
I mean, as of the current plan, but
True,
who
maybe it'll
knows?
come out before. But
You
like
know.
they're announcing things that are coming out around or after Secret Wars, so I don't know. It's interesting. The
That's a good
timeline is
point.
really, it's interesting the way they work their timeline.
That's a good point. But if they don't do a soft reboot, not trying to get into a whole you know, kind of rabbit hole here, but
Yeah,
if they didn't do a soft reboot, I don't even know what they would do after they're done with Secret Wars.
right. Like, how do you bring the X-Men in? I don't know. No one.
I don't
fucking
really know
knows.
what they would do. You know what
We'll
I
just
mean?
have to wait.
So.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's too far, and I just don't care enough at this point to even.
I care
begin
so
to
fucking much,
speculate.
dude.
It's the
That's
only
all I
thing
think about.
I still fall asleep at night and I'm thinking about it.
I
3 in
dream
the
about
morning.
it, dude.
And I dream that I'm in Kevin Feige's office.
Yeah, dude, we'll be best fucking friends.
All right. This section of the news nuggets is a lightning round that we have never really done like this, and I do want to hear your thoughts on each one after I spit them out, but they all are very much in a similar category, and this category is news surrounding cast.
Oh, okay.
So lightning round, first bullet. Billie Eilish is in talks to make her film acting debut in a film called The Bell Jar, which would be an adaptation of the 1963 novel. This adaptation would be written and directed by Sarah Polley, who is known for Women Talking. Eilish would play the lead role of Esther Greenwood. Billie Eilish, an actress.
Okay. Well,
Could be
you want my
interesting.
opinions
Yeah,
now? I thought it was a
want-
lightning round. I thought it was afterwards.
Oh, okay, fine. Can you remember all of them?
Yeah, well, I don't know how
I
many you have.
no,
All
just
right,
give
I'll
me
just
your
tell you.
opinion.
Billie Eilish, I think not an actor, but I feel like she has the potential. I feel like she could be a good surprise as an actress, and I think, you know, there's just the way I see her and the way she acts, like in interviews and stuff like that. I feel like she could be a good actress and be have potential.
Fair enough. That's what I meant by lightning round is like
Okay, just
bullet
quick,
answer.
quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got
yeah,
you.
not like
I'm catching on.
okay. Real lightning round. Let's go. Mahershala Ali has been cast in season 2 of the HBO show Task alongside Mark Ruffalo. I know you haven't seen season 1, but what is this? How does this make you feel about that show
I've
and
never
your
seen
interest?
it. That makes me want to see it even more. I like Mark Ruffalo. I really like Tom Pelphrey. He's in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Mahershala Ali is like next level in my opinion to both of them, and he is the fucking goat. I will always be sad we'll never see him as Blade, but that actually makes me really want to see that show even more.
Yeah, I saw the first season of that show. It's really good, and I highly recommend. And they didn't need to do a season 2, but they're doing a season 2. You definitely can. And bringing in a guy like Mahershala Ali, that's a banger casting. I
You think
mean,
that's gonna
that's
make season 2 possibly even better than season 1? Because I know you loved
it.
it.
It could be. It could be better. It wasn't like a top 10 show of the last year last year for me personally, but it was definitely a really great show. And there was a lot of tension, a lot of drama. Mark Ruffalo and Tom Pelphrey were fantastic. It was some of their best performances of their
Wow,
careers. Especially like I thought Ruffalo was great. I thought they were both great. You know what I mean? So you should watch it. Mahershala Ali, I mean, we know he's always great. So
we love him.
all right. Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves are both confirmed to be returning for their respective roles in Sonic 4. Eggman and Shadow are back.
Dude, did you see that teaser?
I did see the teaser. It was pretty
That
cool.
I dude, the amount of love you and I have for this franchise is one of my favorite things because people will shit on it, but I think like there's a very strong community that loves the Sonic movies, and you can see that love in them making it. I mean, Jim Carrey returning for this again.
It's really the only thing, if you look at his filmography, the last decade, he's only done Sonic. Like, that's
Dude,
the
he
only
he
thing he's
loves
done.
these movies, and you could tell, and he's the best part of them. By the way, also he's so funny, especially in the third one. He was so good, playing the dual roles. But I'm so excited. Yeah, Jim Carrey and Keanu Reeves as Shadow, so cool. Um, didn't they kill him in the last? They killed him in the second
They
movie.
killed him in
Didn't they
every
kill him in the
single
third one?
movie. They've killed him in every
The
single
first one they
movie.
banished him, and then the second
Yeah.
one he dies,
I think they
and
kill
then
him
the third one he
again.
dies.
But I think that's the thing is they always like, but even the banishment too, they always get rid of him.
Yeah.
And then if he wants to come back, because it's Jim Carrey, he can come back or not if he wants, you know?
Yeah,
So then if he wants to come back, they just let him inexplicably return with no real explanation. He's just kind of back.
I know, and nobody questions it because we all love that he's back.
Yeah.
No one's like, this doesn't make sense. Everyone's like, fuck
It just
yeah.
kind of works. It just works. I think with the Sonic franchise specifically, we've accepted what it is. The expectations are very much within what the show is producing.
Yeah.
And the films have gotten better every single time. It's not
Every
like
time.
it's getting worse. They're improving. Like the first one is the worst one when you rewatch it, and then the third one was the best. And like there's no reason, I mean it's going to be hard to top it, but there's no reason to believe with the trend we've seen so far that the fourth one won't be the best.
Yeah. I'm so excited. And I think Jim Carrey, him, like, I don't know. I don't know enough about Sonic lore. Like, I know Dr. Eggman's the villain, but I don't know what other villains Sonic has besides, like, Metal Sonic, which I used to think that Eggman made, but I don't know anymore after seeing the end of the third one. But I don't know if these movies work without Jim Carrey because he's been so ingrained. I thought maybe after the first or second, they're like, all right, we'll make it ambiguous so we can make another one. If he doesn't want to come back, we'll just have him be dead. But now I feel like they have to bring him back for every single one in the future because these movies, he's so integral to these movies now.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, you could obviously just build out the lore in the world so well that by the time he doesn't want to come back, if you keep going, because it is one of Paramount's most profitable franchises, you know, not including, I guess, all the HBO shit they're about to get. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, this has been such a successful franchise for them. Like, even if Carrie doesn't want to come back, I don't know if that's going to stop them. So if you build out the world so well that it insulates Jim Carrey's importance, because you're absolutely right. I mean, he is such an integral part, his relationship with Sonic, yes, but just his presence, his kind of take on this character.
His comedy, man. We need that.
He's great, but I think that you could find a way.
So I don't know if after the fourth one they're gonna fake kill him again, but I don't know. Maybe they would. That'd be
do
hilarious.
it every single time. I think it's part of the bit.
Just
honestly.
Keep up the meme.
Just keep killing him every time and let him come back and let it be what it is.
I'm down. I'm
very have to
excited.
Explain it. All right. Speaking of something we love, the studio season 2 has seemed to add a couple of really interesting actors. First, we got Donald Glover and Michael Keaton, who seem to be joining the show, but also Madonna and Julia Garner joining season 2 of the studio, which makes me think that they're going to do something about biopics in season 2.
Why do you think that?
Because Madonna and Julia Garner, that was like a whole thing that Julia Garner was going to star in the Madonna biopic. I don't even know if that's like actually happening or not, but that was something in real life that was being talked about.
Oh, I didn't know that. Listen, that is a stacked cast already of I mean, I'm assuming you never know if these guys are going to show up for 1 episode, 2 episodes, 3 episodes. You just don't know. I can't imagine Michael Keaton's going to be in it the whole season. Maybe it's going to be like
it's
Scorsese,
like
Anthony Mackie,
But to just have them there, I mean, that they're pretty much all likely playing themselves.
Yeah, which is awesome. Speaking of Donald Glover, real quick, I don't know if this is part of your news nuggets, but did you see that he's the voice of Yoshi in Super
I did
Mario
see
Galaxy?
That wasn't part of my news nuggets. But
Isn't
I did
that so
that.
funny?
Someone was, and I heard him say, do it, and he actually, I mean, it sounds pretty good, I think. But
is it? It's not edited, or is it actually his voice?
No, that was like actually his.
Because I thought they would have like high pitched his voice. I don't know.
If they did it in a way that makes it sound, not high pitched, not unrealistic.
I want Yoshi to start rapping.
Yeah, he just starts doing "This Is America."
Yeah, but that
shoots the guy in the chair.
Yeah, he takes his shirt off.
Yoshi just shoots one of the toads.
Yeah, dude, but that sounds like a good a stacked cast. I'm excited for that. I didn't know that, so that's cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, Kirsten Dunst will be playing Alex in the Minecraft sequel film, which is funny because about a year ago, there was a thing that came out when the other Minecraft movie came out that she would want to get cast in a potential sequel because she needs the money. She wants the money.
She said she wanted to be in Minecraft?
She said she wanted to be in Minecraft specifically for the money, and now she's in Minecraft.
That's a shitload of money coming her way.
It is a shitload of money, you know what I mean? Like, I just think it's really funny that she was like, yeah, I would be in the sequel. I want the money. And now she's in the sequel. So she's actually doing it.
That movie is so memorable and just unmemorable at the same time. Like, I can't, obviously you remember like Chicken Jack, all that shit, but I can't remember. Alex was in like the end credit scene, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
But did you see her face or no? Or was it like her shoulder or something?
I thought it was like the back of her head.
Maybe it was, because I was going to say, I
think
thought
it was
the
back of her head, but she talked. She definitely talked.
She did talk? Oh, yeah, because she says, hi, I'm Alex. Like, she says, okay. Yeah.
And then we're all like, whoa,
Everyone lost their minds over fucking Alex.
Everyone's like, it's fucking Alex, dude. Yeah.
Herobrine better be in the sequel.
Better be in the third one. That's gonna be. We're getting a Minecraft trilogy at this point. Might as well be like the final battle.
It might be like Sonic. They're just gonna keep making. I mean, you could do unlimited things with Minecraft.
Yeah, except bad instead of good.
Like shitty Sonic.
Really shitty Sonic. I got 2 more for you. I think these 2 are going to be the most interesting ones. That's why I saved them for last.
Okay.
The first one is the only one of not someone who is cast, but someone who turned down a role. And it's not just any role. It is the Christopher Dent role. Reportedly, Robert De Niro turned down the role as well, which joins. And I don't know if that's 100% true, but there was multiple reports that happened. So I'm just going to run with that. Robert De Niro reportedly turning down Christopher Dent in The Batman 2, which was already turned down by Brad Pitt, Stellan Skarsgård, and Daniel Craig. Nobody wants to play this role in the sequel.
What is this role? What are they doing with this character? Does he have to be butt naked the entire movie? Like, what does he do? Or like, I feel like whoever accepts this role is immediately going to get struck by lightning and die. Like, I don't know. What is it? It's cursed.
Yeah, it's crazy to me. I have no idea. I mean, I don't think it's something I would necessarily expect De Niro to do. Although Robert De Niro generally does whatever. He
He
did
did the
fucking
Joker. He gets his head blown off.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. And he does
Yeah.
stuff like War with Grandpa and Dirty
Yeah, if
Grandpa
he's
and shit
doing
like
War with
that. So,
Grandpa.
nah,
I forgot we watched that shit.
You're fucking right. You're actually so right. Yeah, I guess. I think I'm most. Although, you know what? Even though he's probably like the least, popular of the four, I'm most disappointed Stellan Skarsgård turned it down because of the fact that it is Sebastian Stan um playing Harvey Dent. I just think that Skarsgård Stan, like, I think they would have worked so well
But
as father and son.
here's the thing, I don't know. We just still don't even know if they'd interact, you know? We
Yeah,
don't know if
that's
it'd be
true. That's a good
flashbacks or
point. I'm
not.
just assuming. I don't know. You're right.
Yeah, well,
I don't.
I would assume too with Skarsgård and De Niro, but then like I look at Daniel Craig being offered the role. I'm like, there's no way. I don't know. It's so,
Or
there's
like
so
Brad Pitt. I mean, Brad Pitt's 60,
yes, and
but he doesn't really look. We did the math, right? He's not that much older than, wasn't he like
I think
14
Sebastian
years
Stan's like
older?
42, 44.
He was
I
like
think he said
44, and like
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's like 60 or 61 or something like that.
It's just a weird group of people to all be offered the same role. It's almost like they don't really know what the role is until they
I
cast it.
completely agree. You're actually, that's spot on. Maybe they don't really know. Maybe it's just not as locked in of a script as we are being led to believe. Because, I mean, yeah, again, you have Scarlett Johansson signs on, Sebastian Stan signs on, but now you have four, really big but kind of different actors turning down the same role. So it does raise questions of what are they even being offered? You know what I mean?
And what's wrong with it?
Yeah, so
God
we'll
damn.
find out.
That's so
Someone's
funny.
got to do Matt Reeves might have to play the role himself at
Dude,
this point.
Sebastian Stan just wants a daddy, man. Give him his daddy.
Sebastian Stan is like that one scene from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will Smith's like, "Why does nobody want me, man?" Like
it's Uncle Phil. Nobody loves me.
Sebastian Stan's just getting hugged by Uncle Phil. Feel bad for you. Anyway, one more of this lightning round that I'm really excited about. Tom Cruise is in talks to star as the villain in Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice reboot, which is already starring Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler.
What a fucking cast. I don't even know anything about Miami Vice, but I'm watching it.
I've seen the Michael Mann movie that came out in like 2003 or whatever it was. That one was pretty good. I've never seen the original 80s show.
Was that with Tom Selleck or no?
No, Tom Selleck was on
there was another show where he's like a detective in Hawaii or some shit. Or Florida.
Wasn't that like Blue Bloods or something?
No, well that's still now. I don't know.
Wait.
Whatever.
Now you got me.
But you know what I'm talking about? Where he's got the
Magnum
mustache?
PI.
Oh, Magnum PI. Yeah, okay.
I forgot about Magnum PI.
That's what I thought you were talking about. So what is this, Miami Vice?
Well, Miami Vice is basically like a South Florida, Miami, like detectives, fighting drugs and shit like that.
Dude, Tom Cruise I've only ever seen him play a villain in Collateral, but he was the best part about that movie, man. So I'm ready to see him again as a villain.
And look at it this way. Tom Cruise would be reuniting with a filmmaker that he's worked with before with Top Gun Maverick in Kosinski. There's a history there. And he would be taking on, we know he's capable of this kind of role, and doing so alongside now Oscar-winning Michael B. Jordan and Oscar-nominated Austin Butler. Like, you know what I mean? And again, yeah, you have this like South Florida, Miami. Bless you.
Sorry, I'm sick.
That's the sneeze counter is at 1. No, but you have this like Southern Florida kind of vibe, Miami vibe, where you're just like fighting drug lords and shit like that, and it's about these two detective partners.
That's cool.
It's really cool.
Did you see?
Like I said, I've seen the movie, but
did you see Caught Stealing with Austin Butler?
Yeah, that was really good.
Him and Michael B. Jordan would be a really good duo in like an action movie.
I want to watch the show. I need to learn more about the actual like show itself.
Yeah.
But the movie was pretty cool. Yeah, it was.
But it's gonna be a reboot. It's not connected.
No, I don't think so. Because cool. the people in the movie aren't in the show. The movie's Colin Farrell and Jamie Foxx.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Um, but like, that movie's pretty good. It's not like my favorite Michael Mann movie or anything like that. But
Yeah.
no,
Well,
I mean,
this one's got a stacked cast, man. I love all
it's
three of
got a
those
great
guys.
filmmaker, and it's who's good with spectacle, and it's got because he also did F1, and then it's got Michael B. Jordan and Austin Butler as detective partners fighting Tom Cruise, who's a drug lord. Like,
Dude, when you have a trio of people and my least favorite member of the trio is Austin Butler, that's how you know the trio is fucking awesome.
I agree. Yeah, that's how you know
Because
you're
I think
working
Austin
with
Butler's
someone.
great, but
I think
like,
he's incredible.
yeah. And when he's like my least favorite, that's how you know everyone else is awesome.
That's tough though. I don't know. I mean, I guess I do like Michael B. Jordan more. I love Michael B. Jordan, but Austin Butler's Fade Rotha in Dune Part 2 is always going to be so insane.
Yeah, that was
Like,
awesome.
he is
But
so
so is
good in
Tom
that
Cruise your
movie.
favorite of the three?
I mean, yeah, it's Tom Cruise.
Me
I
too.
think like there's so many great things coming out this year, and yet one of my most anticipated is the new Alejandro Iñárritu film Digger,
Yeah, I just want to
and
see him
that's
in anything,
mostly
man.
because of this fact that it's Tom Cruise. And it's not that I don't appreciate Top Gun and Mission Impossible, but it's him not just doing an action film. He hasn't done legitimate dramatic, in-depth role acting in a long time. You know what I
Uh,
mean? Like he did in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. Like, I'm very excited to see him go back to that later in his career here. Step away from just, the action for a minute and like see that side of Cruise, see the real performance side. So, he's good at the spectacle, but can he dig deeper like he has in the past? And I think he can.
it's crazy to think about that we haven't seen really a performance like that from him. I mean, since we were conscious, I mean, like I
I
feel
would
like it's always been
say
action and stuff. I mean,
even pulp his
he's great
filmography.
as a villain in Collateral, but everything else seems like it's like the 90s or earlier.
I would say the last time he really had a role like that,
War of the Worlds is great, but that's still like an action movie.
yeah, I would say Tropic Thunder.
I
Less when
forgot he
he's
was in
Les
that.
Grossman in 2008.
Dude, but that's him spreading his wings, man, going to different routes.
But really, like what we're talking about is like right at the beginning of in 2002, he was in Minority Report. But like before that, in the 90s, was the Magnolia Eyes Wide Shut era.
Yeah, so
Jerry
like
Maguire.
we missed out on
So
that.
like if he can do something like A Few Good Men, kind of, things like those 90s performances that Tom Cruise used to do,
Mhm.
like I still believe he's capable in it. And I've loved, like I said, his career in action, but to see that again, I think because we've gotten so much Mission Impossible and Top Gun over the years now, like it would be, and other stuff like Jack Reacher and shit, like it would be really cool. I
Yeah,
definitely want to see it. So
that's awesome. That's a good lineup of castings you just threw at me.
yeah, no, a lot of fun stuff coming out. The last thing that I want to quickly note, it's not not technically a casting
It's like the
announcement, but it's
opposite.
I know that's the thing. It really is. It's like a decast.
Like he got
Then
fired.
yeah, I was just gonna say, but it's still worth mentioning. Chuck Norris, the legend from our childhood, passed away last week at the age of 86 after what was described as a brief medical emergency. No details have been given in terms of like what that is or anything. But Norris obviously was a martial artist. He was an actor known for his action films and his leading role on the hit TV show Walker, Texas Ranger, where he played the titular character Sergeant Cordell Walker. He also starred alongside the great Bruce Lee in the film The Way of the Dragon, and went on to appear in other cult classics: A Force of One, Good Guys Wear Black, Code of Silence, Invasion USA, The Delta Force, Breaker Breaker, the Missing in Action trilogy, and finally Dodgeball. He was in Dodgeball, if you remember that.
That's the only thing I've seen him in. And
I haven't
I
seen a
literally
lot
remember,
of those
and
either,
they're like,
but
Chuck Norris, what do you think? He just,
yeah.
that's the best part, just the thumbs up.
But beyond his career in martial arts and film, what you and I would primarily remember him most for was the meme that he became in his later years in the rise of the internet through the Chuck Norris facts.
We didn't even know who he was, and we were reciting those every day as kids.
Yeah,
Like,
I had
I,
no idea who he was.
like, did you know that Chuck Norris was bitten by a rattlesnake, and after 3 days of agony and pain, the rattlesnake died? Like those are the
Yeah,
types of
things
things
like
that,
that.
yeah, I would hear
His
that every
favorite
day.
one, his favorite one was the classic one. They tried to put Chuck Norris's face on Mount Rushmore, but the granite wasn't tough enough for his beard.
Dude, yeah, there's so many good ones. Like, yeah, I told you this one earlier. It's like Chuck Norris heals medicine or something like that. Like Chuck Norris goes to the doctor to heal them or something. Like it's so
Well, yeah,
stupid.
and I think I saw one where it was like I think his birthday just passed, and someone was like, Chuck Norris doesn't age, he levels up.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe it's
So
2026. We're talking about Chuck Norris facts.
yeah, I know it's crazy. That was such like a 2005 kind of
Yeah,
thing. You know
literally, I
what I
was like
mean?
5 to 10 years old, just
Yeah.
nonstop reciting it with people. And then you look up the funniest one, and you try to fight who has the funniest one. It's like, nah, my fact is better. Like, it's so good.
But it's just funny how there was such a like the facts created such a like mythological lore around Chuck Norris. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I would argue that anyone under like 30, that's what he's best known for, is those people saying that stuff.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I mean, it is just funny, the the way someone can be remembered depending on the generation. Like our parents would remember, Walker Texas Ranger. We remember that Chuck Norris is like had a fist come out of his chin. He didn't have a chin under his beard. It was just a fist punching people, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, and then he did the thumbs up in dodgeball.
yeah, so but he was quite the martial artist. He was like a black belt in like multiple different martial arts like jujitsu, karate, all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah.
And he did put together a pretty notable film career, which is what allowed people from our generation to have these memes that we fondly remember. So despite his love of Israel or whatever his shortcomings may be,
He's
Chuck
very proud of
Norris
that.
he was very proud of that. He was a little too proud. Like Benjamin Netanyahu posted for Chuck Norris after he
No
died.
way, really?
Yeah, he really did. That's when you're like, oh, okay, that's a weird
Like,
relationship.
weird to be friends with that guy.
Yeah,
I don't
why
know.
is Benjamin Netanyahu posting for Chuck Norris's passing?
That's
So
insane.
anyway. Rest in peace to the late great Chuck
They
Norris.
finally got him.
You know what? He didn't die. He leveled up.
He leveled up. He's like, nah, never mind.
What are you gonna say? What are you gonna
I was gonna make a joke about how like he's in charge now, but I was gonna say he's in charge of hell, which like probably isn't a good thing to
So you're
say.
trying to say Chuck Norris went to hell? Jeez.
I meant to say
I
like
mean, I know he loved Israel and Israel's done some bad stuff, but Chuck Norris didn't bomb the school.
I
I
was
mean,
trying to make a. I didn't even mean to make him like going to hell joke. I was trying to make like a, oh now he's like Chuck Norris doesn't die. He just takes over hell. But I maybe I should have said heaven, but that's also weird.
so now you're saying Chuck Norris is God?
Chuck Norris is the devil or he's God? I don't know. Neither probably.
Yeah, I don't,
Moving
he's just
on
Chuck
anyway.
Norris.
My bad, Chuck.
I think the joke would be something along the lines of like Chuck Norris checks if God is worthy of entering heaven or something like
Oh
that.
yeah.
You
Chuck
know what I
Norris
mean?
went to heaven to kill God or something. Like I don't know.
That's fucked up. Wait, where would God go? Super heaven?
He'd go to double heaven. I don't know. He's done some pretty
Heaven
bad things
squared?
actually, so maybe he'd go to hell. I don't know.
Heaven square.
He's done some pretty fucked up
Can you
things.
imagine the devil's like at the door, like checking the list? He's like, yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, blah blah blah. He's like, God.
He's like, oh shit, I know you, bro. Did I used to work for
Like,
you?
bro, he's like, now you work for me. He's like, how the tides have turned, the tables have turned.
Yeah, dude, we might have lost a couple viewers with that, but that's all right.
You know what? When we weren't very fond of that Chosen one, the whatever
The Chosen.
movies, the Chosen, when the movie was coming out, like every month a new one was coming out.
Yeah.
That's where we lost our religious viewers. I don't think
Yeah,
there's
I don't
any
really
religious
want
viewers left.
super religious viewers anyway, so it's fine.
Anyone out there who believes in God, Jack just told you he did not want you to
Well,
listen.
make sure you hit like, subscribe, and send your friends. But after that, you can...
he's like, don't let the door hit you on the way out.
Just go to Bible study.
Leave a tip. Oh man, all faiths are welcome.
Yeah, we love you
as
guys.
long as we agree with them. Anyway, Moving on to the box office numbers.
Hit
That's
me
the
with it.
real god. The real god is money.
It determines everything.
Money does buy happiness. I don't think people realize that.
Yeah,
It
because people
does.
with money are like, my life fucking sucks because I cheated on my wife every day for 3 years, and it's like, all right, well, don't do that, and you'd still have a lot of money and have a good life, man.
Yeah, that's like sometimes money problems, maybe they're out of your control, but like that's in your control. Just don't cheat. Now you have a
Yeah.
lot of money and you got a smoking wife.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck those guys. People who say
Dumbass.
money doesn't buy happiness. Fuck those people.
It's like it's like all the rich people who are going to Jeffrey Epstein's island. You have all this fucking money and you're gonna like do that to kids?
Well, they were
What the
probably
fuck is wrong
happy
with you?
doing it.
All right, you're right.
The
They were
sick
happy
fucks were
doing it, but
probably
that's
they
what I'm
probably
saying.
bought
It's
their
like, what are you
happiness.
doing, man? It's like you got
I
all the
know.
money in the world. You don't need to do that. All right, anyway.
I'm surprised
Again,
you disagree with that, but all right, continue.
what? Whoa, wait.
Epstein's Island.
I was like, what do you disagree with? What?
Dude, there
All
are
right,
people
the
who
box
disagree.
office
All right.
numbers. Jesus Christ. These are the box office numbers for the weekend of March 20th through the 22nd. In fifth place in its second weekend of release, making $8 million more, but a steep 55.5% drop, is the film Reminders of Him. I think that was that Colleen Hoover adaptation.
Yeah, like the fucking guy from Outer Banks dies or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a life. In fourth place, in its opening weekend of release, making $9.1 million, is the sequel Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, the sequel to the 2019 film starring Samara Weaving. What?
It's so funny to hear you just go, look straight in the camera, go, here I come. Like,
That's the name of the movie. What do you?
I know,
Ready or
but
Not,
it
Here I
felt
Come.
like sensual. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Maybe I'm
it
just
was
in
a
the mood
little
today.
bit.
Yeah.
I think it's that sickness. I think you sick in the
It's
head.
gotten me in my brain. All right, continue. All right, my bad.
I've never seen it. I do want to see it, but it is a horror film, and it's cool to see the sequel in the top 5. Obviously, kind of struggling with another release coming out, but the
Yeah,
new Samara
I've
what?
seen the first one like all over TikTok. Like it's one of those movies that you've seen probably in clips most of the movie.
I've seen some. I wouldn't say the whole movie, but
I've probably seen like 75% of the movie through TikTok.
in third place, and Jack, speaking of which, though, you should see that movie in theaters before you see it on TikTok.
Yeah, right.
This time around.
Yeah, maybe this time.
In third place in its opening weekend of release, making $9.5 million, is Durandar: The Revenge. I don't know if I said that correctly. It is a big Bollywood release, so I'm sure it's doing well overseas in the Indian film market. It is the sequel to a 2025 film called Durandar, and that's what I got for you. It's a Bollywood film.
I have no response. Never heard of it. Never gonna see it. Good for them though.
You've heard of Bollywood, though, right?
Yeah, I know Bollywood.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, cool.
Bollywood's so interesting. Like, is there only one kind of like Hollywood spinoff? Besides, is it just Bollywood?
Well, I mean, Bollywood
There's
what is
Dollywood.
that's Dolly Parton.
Yeah, that's it.
So there's the United States, India, and Dolly Parton.
Yeah,
that's what
three
there
major
is.
nations.
Well, Bollywood. What is Bollywood? It's really just the Indian film.
Right.
It's just Indian film production. It's so they just have a name for it. Unlike,
Yeah.
Now it is a little more built out than most other countries that really rely on more independent, independently filmed cinema. I guess
It's just interesting that they have the name.
Yeah,
like
well,
that.
it is more of a studio kind of, market over there, similar to us, I suppose. It's cool, I
Yeah.
guess. But there's only so many letters in the alphabet that you can do.
That's true. You got
know.
26 options, and 2 of them are taken already. So
Yeah, so, and you can't chop off the letter at the end. BoJack Horseman already did that with Holly Woo. So,
oh really? Oh,
yeah.
that's gonna be copyright.
In second place, in its third weekend of release, making $18 million more, is Pixar's film Hoppers, which brings its grand worldwide total to $242.5 million worldwide.
All right, love Hoppers. Love to hear it.
And a good,
Staying up there.
that's definitely a great spot for an original Pixar film, I would say.
Yeah.
And in first place, in its opening weekend of release, to nobody's surprise, the film that probably buried Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. It's
Clip that.
happening, Jack.
Chat, clip that
It's
right now.
happening.
Clip that.
It's happening. And that is Project Hail Mary with $80.5 million, 80.6 actually $1 million domestically. Let's talk about the box office for this film real quick before we actually review the film.
Yeah.
So not only does it make $80.6 million domestically, it made $141 million around the world in its opening weekend. Domestically, so the 80.6 domestically is the second biggest opening for a non-franchise film of all time.
Whoa! That's
Behind
big.
only Oppenheimer, which made 82.4 million in its opening weekend. It's the biggest worldwide opening of all of 2026 so far. It is the biggest opening ever for Amazon MGM Studio. It beat out Creed 3, which opened to $58 million. And it is one of the biggest global openings for a non-franchise film ever. Project Hail Mary is a massive, massive, massive success.
That's
It
a
earned
huge achievement.
$33.1 million alone on its first day. It earned $11 million on the Thursday preview showings. And it was the let's see. Yeah, it drew 11 million there, which is more than Oppenheimer. That's what I was looking for. 10.5 million. So this film is pacing super well. And if we want to compare it, so obviously it's a adaptation of the novel, Andy Weir, written by Andy Weir. He wrote The Martian. The Martian film ended up making $603 million in its theatrical run. So all in all, this movie is blowing up the charts right now.
And I think I want to attribute that to a couple things. Number one, Ryan Gosling.
Yes.
Everyone loves Ryan Gosling. You see Ryan Gosling's in a movie. He's one of the only people nowadays, the only stars where people watch the movie for the actor, right? Like, you don't really see that much. Like, Dwayne Johnson, one of the highest paid actors, one of the biggest actors in the world. Nobody goes, well, if Dwayne's in it, I'm going to go see it. No, nobody does that. But Ryan Gosling is one of those very few actors. The next thing is Lord and Miller, very trustworthy. They have a great track record with the Spider-Verse movies. And what else did they do? They did something else.
They've done, 21 Jump Street. They've done,
yeah, dude, great.
The Lego Movie.
They have a great track record. Lord and Miller, again, bringing in the audience. And then the last two things, like you said, Andy Weir also wrote The Martian, and that was in the marketing, was like from the author of The Martian. And I think everyone loved that movie. I personally love that movie. Got Oscar nominated, made a lot of money, and then the marketing was great for this movie. So I think all of that combined makes for such a huge output to everyone, and then they bring it in. They show up to the theaters. So we obviously see that.
Yeah, I agree with all your points, and especially the last one. I think this had a great marketing campaign. You know what I mean? Yeah. Gosling went around. He did SNL. He had that great thing with his wife Ava Mendes on the Tonight Show. They did the La La Land poster thing, which was really funny.
Yeah, it's a great recipe.
They had Rocky everywhere. I think that this movie, it just is the kind of movie that audiences wanted right now, and that's why you're seeing them respond in droves, and why the film is doing so well financially. And I think, while we are still talking about that financial aspect, and, we'll get into our actual thoughts in a second, but obviously the word of mouth has been great. So I think that word of mouth can really carry this film's momentum. Certainly it's going to win next weekend's box office. There's no major releases next weekend. So it is going to be Project Hail Mary on top. And I wonder, I'm not saying that the Mario movie won't finish in the first spot the weekend after, but I think Project Hail Mary, first of all, I think it'll beat out the drama, which will come out the same weekend with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. And I just think that the strong word of mouth is going to actually take a little bit out of Mario's, they're going to take out of each other. They're going to clash. They have similar audiences, family movies and whatnot.
Yes.
But I just think that a lot of people are going to want to see Project Hail Mary again and again, and that's going to really help. I think it's going to do very well in the next few weeks with its box office.
I think you're right. I think Mario might struggle because of Project Hail Mary in the first weekend, But I think overall Mario's just gonna make so much fucking money,
Yeah,
dude. Like
Mario will have the longer legs.
it's
What
got
did
the
the
long
first
haul.
one make? Well, real
I mean, over
quick.
a billion.
Did
But
it? I don't even remember.
I think it definitely crossed a billion. Um,
Yeah, you're right. It
it
was
just feels like it would.
$1.3 billion.
And I think
So
this movie's gonna make more than that or around that. But yeah, I mean, we'll talk about that when it comes out. But I do think you're right. I think Project Hail Mary is gonna hold on to that number one spot for a while.
yeah, I agree. I'm just checking the weekend that Super Mario came out. I'm trying to see what else was out that weekend. So that was April 7th through the 9th of 2023.
Uh-huh.
Its opening weekend, it was Easter weekend. It made $146 million domestically in its opening weekend.
Holy shit.
It was contending with John Wick Chapter 4, which was in its third week, and Air, which was in its first week, and Dungeons and Dragons in its second week. And then the top five was the fifth one was Scream 6.
Okay, so not really anything in the realm of
Of
Mario, like similar to that.
or of Project Hail Mary, I'm saying. I don't think there was any, I don't think
Yeah.
Mario was contending with anything like Project Hail
No,
Mary.
no.
Granted, it will be Project Hail Mary's third weekend of release at that point,
Yeah.
but
Well, you never know.
like I don't think it'll win over Mario. Mario's gonna win the box office that weekend, but by how much? You know what I mean? Like I don't think it'll be as much of a gap. But
Yeah, I think you're
could
right.
be wrong because I didn't realize the first one made that much in its opening weekend, and that was just in the United States. So
Yeah. Let's talk about this movie, bro.
yeah, let's get into it.
I spoilers ahead for Project Hail Mary. These are our ratings and reviews for the movie. I'll start. I'm give this movie 9.3 thumbs up out
you took
of
mine.
10. My
I'm
bad.
doing it anyway. You took
Do the
mine.
opposite. Do thumbs down.
No, all right. All right, you took mine for fuck's sake.
9.3 from me.
Oh my god. I give the film 9.8 lavas, but I'm still going to do the thing anyway because I wanted to. But I'm giving it 9.8 lavas out of 10.
This was awesome, man. This was so good.
We're going to have an interesting conversation because I don't know how much you knew about this story and everything going into it.
So I got the book. I didn't read it. I bought it. I didn't have time to read it. I ended up not reading it. All I knew was from you was that when they put Rocky in the trailer, you didn't like it. You thought that was too much. But I want to know if your opinion changed after watching how it was handled.
Interesting.
Because that's part of the marketing. So I really didn't know anything except for Rocky's
So you didn't know
alien.
anything about the story, though? Like, you didn't really know
I just know he wakes up, doesn't know where he is, and he's on a spaceship, and there's aliens.
Well, I guess I'll begin with my opinion on that hasn't changed. If anything, it was reaffirmed, but I'm going to get into that in a couple minutes because I'm going to discuss the changes that they made from the book.
Okay, well, all right, let me just say that before we talk about the book, I thought, from someone who hasn't read the book, I thought this movie was great. The visuals were stunning. Gosling, it gives a career performance, and his relationship with Rocky was beautiful. I very obviously not a real creature, but I loved it. I mean, there was practical effects in the movie, which was great, and the relationship.
No use of green or green screen effects.
It was so. This just felt like one of those movies that's just so special, and when it comes out, you're like, this means something. This is great, and I love The Martian. I might put The Martian a little bit ahead of this, but I love. I mean, 9.3 for me. That's huge. So Project Hail Mary, non-book viewer, a non-book reader. I thought it was fucking awesome.
I think that the visuals put this ahead of The Martian, even though both stories are so remarkable. But it was like Greg Fraser, who I think was the Martian cinematographer, but I'm honestly not 100% sure. I think he was, though. Like Greg Fraser genuinely is presenting space in a visual perspective that we have just never seen before in film, and I think that goes along with the themes of this whole story, which is that a lot of films that take place in space are very much tied into fear and kind of desolation. There's a very pessimistic perspective taken on the story. Whereas Project Hail Mary is a very optimistic, more hopeful outlook. You know,
Yeah.
it's not so much the fear of the unknown, but the journey and the hope of it. You know what I mean? And so the visuals need to match that to really make that thematic core, drive that home. And so using all these big flashy colors like the reds for the astrophage and the green for Adrian, and all of that, one, obviously it's just so beautiful. I saw this in IMAX format
Yeah,
twice.
me
I
too.
actually saw it twice in
Oh,
opening
really? Cool.
weekend. It was worth it. It was one of those movies. um Obviously it's like just so beautiful on that big screen. I really want to see it on 70 millimeter because that is unlike any other experience you'll ever see for
Hmm.
film. If they're still playing this in a few weeks in 70 millimeter at Lincoln Square, I'm probably going to go and
This
try
would be
and
the movie to see it, man.
check it out.
Yeah.
One of three this year. One of three that this would be worth doing that this year
Yeah.
for.
Oh, I wonder. Oh,
Um,
you're gonna say Dune and Odyssey?
yeah, those two
Yeah.
would
Okay.
probably be the other two worth it, you
Yeah.
know. But I digress. Um, the visuals are also important to have to match that thematic core of just like a warmth feeling,
Yeah,
and
and the
this film
music tied with the
delivers.
visuals are really upbeat and hopeful. That's what I was when I was seeing when they first got to Adrian. I was like, the combination of the music and the greens and the reds. I was like, God damn, they're putting me in a mood right now. They just know how to set your audience's tone. It was awesome.
I mean, the scene definitely, or the film definitely had some of the most incredible scenes. Like, you know, there's a few, but obviously the one when, he's collecting the astrophage with Rocky and the whole having a moment thing is, I mean, that was just, we're talking about Greg Fraser's visuals. We're talking about Daniel Pemberton's, music and score and just
Uh-huh.
like all these things combined. And you're right. Gosling, definitely one of the best performances of his career. I don't know if I would say it's the best, but it's one of the best he's given us ever. And certainly in a long time.
Yeah,
Um, all of these elements combined just really it was exactly what film is, which is moments. I think like above all else, when you think about what a film is, what what's so defining is that a film is just made up of a bunch of these big moments that, and by big I don't necessarily mean always showy like this one, but a big moment for the film where you just are kind of left just inspired and in awe, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And moved and emotional. Like that scene made me emotional,
The one where he's out on the ship walking around,
when he's collecting the astrophage, when
like the
Rocky's in the
fishing when he's
ship.
fishing.
This was before they went fishing,
Oh,
but
okay. Because the fishing one was my favorite sequence in the movie.
well, that's when they're going down into the Adrian
Yeah, that's what I
atmosphere.
thought you meant. So when they're first collecting the astrophage, you're
When they're
talking
first
about?
collecting the astrophage before they discover that the answer is life.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, yeah.
And he's having the moment. That sequence when they're fishing is also one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites in the book, and it is one of my favorites in the film. Um, and the way they translated it from the book was so incredible. Listen, I just say this was a very faithful adaptation. I mean, both narratively, like the actual story, it hit a lot of the beats that I was expecting it to.
Mm-hmm. Good.
And of course, adapted for a screen. It's not the same as reading it on the pages, but
Yeah,
it got the story down and it was faithful to the characters and like, the way they're written, and it's faithful to the thematic elements of that optimism and hope and warmth, that comes from this film and from this book.
I
It really captures it.
I've been seeing a lot of complaints of people being like, "Oh, it doesn't do this. This is different. This is different." But from what I know, first of all, the movie's 2.5 hours long. You're not reading the entire book in 2.5 hours. You got to cut stuff. That's just how movies work. You got to cut shit. And also, from what I have heard, the book is inner monologue. Like it's his perspective, right? It's first person.
Yeah.
So a movie's just is gonna be
Except for the
different.
flashbacks, but I mean that's
But but a movie, are they
no,
like
those are
him?
also
Are they his
it's
memories?
his
The
thoughts at the
flashbacks.
time. Yeah, it's his
So
memories.
so a movie is gonna be different. Like people complaining that it's not like you say it's faithful because you understand that you have to change things, but some people just bitch and complain about it, and it's like I was hearing that, oh, it's paced differently. Well, yeah, because you can't have him thinking in his head for 3 hours. We'd just be sitting there in silence. It just doesn't make
Right.
sense to
Well,
complain about
it
that.
depends on the film, but the film wasn't doing, you know, dialogue to, voiceover narration, so it's
Exactly.
not like
Right.
that. If the film was doing that, then you could implement. And look, I'm at a 9.8. I'm not at a flat 10 out of 10. There are changes. There are a couple of things that from the book that I would have liked to have seen. It's nothing major, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
nothing
I've got
that
some
the film really
complaints
does
too.
wrong. Um, but in general, before I even get to any of that stuff, I don't know what people are complaining. This is as faithful of an adaptation to Andy Weir's novel that you are going to get. And I
Yeah.
understand that there's like a really strong, passionate fan base. I'm one of them. I'm wearing a Tau Ceti shirt.
Oh, that's sick. Did you have that
See,
before or after the
yeah,
movie?
I've had this. I've worn it on the podcast a couple times, I
That is
think.
dope, and I had no idea what it was.
Yeah, so
That's
now you
sick.
know, and it's got the astrophage, and it's got Adrian, and
Wow, that's
it's got
awesome, dude.
Rocky. It's a really cool shirt, and it even says home of astrophage, something like something
Is
something.
that
So
Rocky on it?
yeah.
It's funny because I saw Andy Weir make a comment about how he has like this thing where he can't really visualize images, in his
Mhm.
head. So when he describes Rocky, it's kind of like just, oh, it has 6 legs and he's the size of a dog, but like there's not actually much description there because he really said in an interview, he goes, until they made the model of Rocky, he goes, I really couldn't draw Rocky. He's like, I really had no idea what Rocky would have looked like. He goes, I know how many limbs and how, it has no face, but he goes, I couldn't tell you the texture, the color, like stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I thought it was really interesting
You
coming
know,
from an
it's
author.
funny that you say that. It When I was watching the movie Blip A, Rocky's ship,
Yeah.
it like looked almost exactly like I pictured it in the book.
Really?
Like almost exactly. I was kind of shocked. I was like, this is like what I pictured,
That's cool, man. So
which
he
is
did he
crazy.
did
So
get it down.
that's why I think it's funny because I do think he maybe isn't giving himself enough credit for, at least if he can't visualize it, he's good at describing it in a
Yeah.
way that lets other people visualize it. Because I mean, I'm not saying that like I drew the movie in my head and I was like, I mean, Rocky wasn't exactly as I pictured. The general shape and everything, obviously, but
Yeah.
um no, like, there it was just specifically like his ship, Blip A, where I was like, wow, that's like pretty much how I pictured
That's
it
cool. That's
in the
awesome.
book. No, but you're right. I mean, and that is a testament to Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who are able to bring this incredible book to life. And it really is, it's one of my favorite books I've ever read, and they're able to do so in a way that makes it feel so real. And like, using the practical effects, building an actual model for Rocky, building an actual spaceship
Yeah. Hugely
set
important.
model, not just like, green screening that. Like, it makes it feel lived in, it makes it feel real. And then obviously they get creative with their shot choices. The editing is fantastic. I mean, it really is like just a cinematic experience. It's ethereal. It
It really
is
was.
impactful. Ryan Gosling was great. I thought Sandra Hüller as Ava Straw was really great.
Yeah.
I don't think she got enough love a few years ago when she had Anatomy of a Fall and The Zone of Interest both come out at the same time. But now she's got this. She's going to be in Digger, we talked about earlier. She's going to be in that with Tom Cruise. She's got a few things coming out this year. So, and she's great in this movie. I thought she embodied Ava Straw pretty well. She actually gave her a little more emotional nuance that the character in the book doesn't always have at times. So I thought it really worked. And of course, the scene with the karaoke scene was awesome. Just,
That was
I
great.
think it's really cool that a film with so much scale like this, a big sci-fi epic, has the space and time, no pun intended, but the space and time in its film to make room for smaller moments like that. That just adds so much, depth to the characters. It's really impressive.
Speaking of the karaoke scene, I saw people because after I see the movie, I want to know what other people think, right? So I saw people talking about. They were like, "Yeah, some weird changes from the book." I know you're gonna get into that in a minute. Yeah, weird changes from the book. The movie portrays the lady and Ryan Gosling's character. There's like some romantic undertones there, and I personally didn't catch that. I was wondering, did you feel that from the movie? Some like
Um,
sexual tension between the two?
no, not really. I think it
I
was
didn't either.
more. I think it was more sympathy between the two than
Yeah,
anything
and they're both
else.
very charismatic, and she's
I
like he's very charismatic. She's just very like straightforward, and I think maybe people confuse that as being like, oh, they're into each other. I don't think so.
I think, like I said, I think, well, I think they understood one another. I think
Yeah,
that's a big thing, is that in this dire situation where, and I'll get in again, and I'm really just going to get into it in a minute so we can bring some context. But when you think about the situation going on around the world, like, the sun is dying and people are going to starve to death, like,
yeah,
you know, that two people can somehow find just this level of understanding, like, and peace within each other's company. Like, that's as far as I think it went. I
yeah.
did
I agree.
not get any romantic or sexual tone between
No,
the two of them. And I
I was
do think
confused when I saw that.
yeah, I do think part of why people feel that way is simply because, again, they made her a little softer, I guess, in the movie than in the book. Just a little more human, a little more, like, a little looser,
Okay,
than she's portrayed maybe in the book. So maybe that's part of why. But
maybe, maybe I don't know. But
it's Ryan Gosling, so yeah.
what you want to talk about? What from the books that you wish would have made it into the movie?
Well, I'm just gonna go through all the changes. It's not
Okay,
everything. We'll go one by one. Like I said, I thought it was a very faithful adaptation. Not all the time have I read the book before the film like this, and I'm gonna be honest, I am glad that I did. Like, not to be like, oh, fuck you or anyone else who hasn't done that, but
my
but
bad.
I am,
Yeah,
and I think anytime, I think you'll always will have rather read the book before seeing the movie, and for anything. So, it is what it is. I've done the same with Dune, right? So it is what it
I
is.
don't know. I refuse to read Invincible until the show's over, so I don't know. I'd rather not spoil it.
Well, I understand that, but I think it's just good to, like, when it's, I don't know. I think it's better to read the source material before you see the adaptation, because then you'll treat the adaptation as the source material, because that's what you know. I don't know. Anyway, that's psychological stuff, but there were some changes between the
Okay.
book, between the novel and the film. The biggest thing is in the novel that the science is much, much, much more in depth. It's like all written out. Ryland Grace is like portrayed as like really smart. And I'm not saying we don't get that vibe from him in the movie. I'm not even saying that that was a bad change. Like, I think it would not have translated well with general audiences anyway to have
I
all
don't
that
want to hear a
science
bunch of
talk,
numbers and shit all the time.
but a lot of the book is him trying to figure things out, and so you get this idea of like where his qualification really comes from. It's like in the movie there is such an emphasis on his role as a teacher, and I love that. I think it works. Again, we're talking about a book versus a movie, so there is changes. This is not one of the ones where I necessarily think it's a bad change. I think it worked just fine. I'm just saying it is a change. The book has a lot of like more science behind a lot of what's going on. The film kind of grazes over that, focuses more on the narrative and the placement of the characters.
I
So
do think you're right. I wouldn't have wanted too much science talk, but I do also think it would have helped to make him do more. I guess just like do more science. I don't know. Like he does a little
like in
bit.
the yeah, in the book he's like constantly trying to figure things out, from
Yeah,
the
we
very
get that a little
beginning,
bit in the
like
movie, and
uh,
he they articulate so often like you're the only one who can do this. It has to be you. We don't have time to find someone else. But it's like, all right, then show a little bit more of why it's him.
yeah,
In the
I think
flashbacks, we get a lot of science, but on the ship, not too much
um
in the movie.
yeah, I mean that really goes into just like the beginning too. In the book, um like there is like a lot of time spent on him trying to figure out who he is, why he is where he is. Like the
That was my least
movie
favorite part of the movie, so
the
I'm glad.
the movie very quickly just like gets into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He spends like a good couple chapters trying to remember his name. There's a whole thing in the book where he can't access like the pilot area or whatever it was because he needs his name. He needs to give his name and he doesn't remember his name. So he's like slowly, you see flashbacks. He's learning like, oh, I'm a teacher and this and that, but he doesn't remember his name right away. And I wish the film had taken that from the book. I think that would have been cool to really emphasize the whole like amnesia aspect. Like, he does not remember why he's here. Like, I think it would have really shown why the flashbacks are important as flashbacks, like when we get them, and not just that's how the story's being told. Because there's purpose to it, and it's he's remembering these things in real time, and so I don't know. I just would have liked to have seen a little bit more of like that focus at the beginning. Like, who am I? I'm in space. How did I get here? Who am I and why am I here? Like that would have
Yeah.
been cool to see.
I didn't need more of that personally because that was like the most boring part for me. I was like, all right, let's just get started because I think yeah, it might translate
But I
differently
think it
to
would have been
film.
less boring if it was really like this mystery of like, all right, someone who doesn't know their name, like they have to figure out their identity while they're stuck in space, like
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
tough because like I think maybe for someone who really didn't know about this movie going in, that would be fine. But I think for most of the audience, if we're like, okay, I saw the trailers, I know I know why he's in space. He's there to save the Earth from the sun's dying. We know that as the audience before going in most of the time. That's just the reality of like trailers and spoilers and shit. So I would have been a little frustrated if it took like half an hour for him to be. I would be like, all right, I already know
I'm
this
not
stuff. Let's speed
I'm
it
not
up.
necessarily saying a half an hour, but I don't really care about that stuff or if audiences know. Like the movie is still the movie. I think, like, all right, like he's supposed to not remember who he is. He's supposed to not remember why he's there. So it just feels really easy. Like they very quickly have him figure it out in like 5 minutes. I don't know. It just felt too like rushed to me.
It did feel rushed. I was wondering. I was like, what was the point of that? And then what you said about the flashbacks. That's why I'm not at a 10 out of 10. That's one of the reasons. I'll get into my other reasons later when you're done with the book. But I I didn't really see a purpose of like you said when the flashbacks arrived when they did in his brain. Like they didn't really serve most of the current story besides like him remembering, oh, I'm a teacher. But okay, what does it really have to do with you now? Like when he remembers that he got basically kidnapped and thrown on the ship and that those people like betrayed him, he doesn't really do anything with that until he sends the message to them. He's like, oh, you were right. Like he doesn't do anything with that.
Well, what can he do with it?
I
I
know,
mean,
but
to be fair,
I just
the book does spend a little more time on him like dealing with that.
would have liked to see him deal with it. Talk to Rocky being like, my people betrayed me. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm here. They want me to save them, but they betrayed me. Like, I don't know. Something crazy. Something could have been done.
But ultimately, I don't know. I'm not saying I need a half hour of it. I would have liked them to lean into the amnesia thing a little
Okay.
more.
All right.
And his recovery from the coma a little more because he kind of just snaps up and is like, "All right, let's go." And I was like, "All right, well, the movie's 156 minutes, and he already knows what's going on now." You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was such an emphasis in the book. So,
But when he's recovering through his amnesia, I did love the scene where he sends off the bodies into space, and Ryan Gosling's acting in that was just phenomenal. When he's crying and he's like, "I don't remember who you guys are, but I wish you could be here with me right now. I don't want to be alone." The two other people there with him, the two dead bodies.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
so good. I'll cut to that one next. You're right. That was a great scene.
great scene.
Ryan Gosling played it so well. It is a great scene from the book. The film had less of those crewmates than the book does, Yao and Elukina. And I did wish there was not a ton. I didn't need them to take up too much time, but it would have been nice to see a little more of them because they are a little more involved in the book.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think then that relationship between Gosling's character and them would be a little more built up. It's
Are
a
you
very
talking about
minor,
in the flashbacks?
and yeah,
Because I'm
yeah,
assuming when he wakes up in the book, they're also dead, right?
yes,
Okay.
yes. But you really feel for like as you learn more about, like, it makes the weight of that scene hit harder when you see more of that build up throughout, afterwards, even
Yeah.
though he dumps the bodies before you really learn about them,
Hmm.
in both adaptations, but like then you see like that history. And that's really how the flashbacks, the whole point of the order, besides how he remembers them, it's also like we're learning the story of what happened as well. Like
Yeah, it's
we are
for the
somewhere.
audience too. Yeah.
Yeah. So certain characters and subplots in general are cut. There was one character from the book cut altogether, a Russian scientist by the name of Dmitry Komarov. His whole thing in the book was he was the one who discovered how to harness the astrophage for interstellar travel that they already know how to do in the movie.
Yeah, they just say it's in the engine.
They just don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the movie, they're just like, we have astrophage. we know we can use it for interstellar travel, but we don't know how to breed it. There's a whole thing in the book where Dimitri's working with the crew. He's like one of the people on this like team in the flashbacks, because he was the one who discovered like we can use this for interstellar travel. So there's like a whole dynamic. Again, it's a subplot. It's not a major thing. It's fine. You can't have every little thing, but it is something, especially because like Carl, for example, is not in the book. Like that's a character they made for the movie. So it's not like you couldn't have maybe found a space for Dimitri, who's
Yeah, I
actually
think
in
that
the
probably
book.
fits into the to the just adding more of the science, you know?
You're right. No, I get it. But Dimitri was also like kind of an alcoholic and shit. So I don't know. I mean, maybe
Ah,
they felt they already had that with Ilakina, but like, and also they do a little bit more about Dubois and Shapiro in the book, the two scientists who get blown up, who are like having an affair. They kind of like they. I don't even know if you realize that they were supposed to be a couple in the movie, or like that they were sleeping
the guy
together.
that gets replaced with Ryan
The
Gosling?
two the two scientists, yeah, that were blown up.
Well, I don't know if they were a couple. I thought because it looked like Ryan Gosling was surprised and he was like, "Oh," you know.
Yeah, well, that was like the one like nod to it in the movie
I
where
thought they were
he's
just
like both
banging
the
each other
character.
because the world was gonna end, you know.
I mean, that's kind of essentially what's going on in the book too. They're not really a couple, but they're like it's like a whole affair thing, and they're like together in the book, and then
Yeah, no, I got that they were doing something, you
okay,
know.
yeah,
Because the
yeah,
way I mean,
and
they
then
were
they
up
get,
on each other.
but there was more of them in the book. You know what I mean? Like, and the whole
Yeah.
science thing. So I don't know. Just again, something that was changed in the movie that they cut back on that. So this was really interesting. There was this was two big things in the book that they didn't include though, was related to Ava Straw. And so one of the things at the movie that I really noticed was their lack of stuff with Earth. It was super centric on Rocky and Grace, you know.
I liked it. I like that.
So I didn't have an issue with it, but there was stuff in the book that just made for great scenes
So
that really
present day Earth?
no.
Oh,
It was
flashbacks.
like in the
Oh, okay,
flashbacks
okay.
with Ava Straw. I just think that the movie could have used a little more of that background of her character and like some of the decisions that she is making, besides obviously the one that she, you know, makes where she forces Ryland Grace to go. Like she literally goes to prison in the book at one point.
But
Like
whose perspective isn't it? How does he know about that? It's his POV, right?
right, but he remembers it from working with her,
He
you
remembers that
know.
she told him that, or he remembers her going. Like she got arrested while she was with him.
It's like a mixture. You know, sometimes it's in conversation, sometimes he hears about it or reads about it or whatever.
Okay, but they never
Um
show. They never like focus on a character when Ryland Grace isn't there.
no.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But like these two specifically, I'm going to tell you, she tells him about. That's how he
Oh. Okay.
remembers.
All right.
So at one point, as you know, the sun is dying because of the astrophage eating it. And so they're still trying to, you know, figure out everything with Project Hail Mary, get it together. She says that she, in an effort to speed up global warming and try and slow down the cooling of the earth, she blew up the polar ice caps
I heard
in the
about that.
book, which released the methane that helped like heat it up, but it caused flooding that killed like a bunch of people.
Mm.
And so she talks about that with Ryland Grace in the book, and like, you know, you just like learn a bit about her decision making and like, you know, her, I guess like her contrast with her emotions and her like putting them aside to make these decisions to try and like, you know, I have to do, it's like basically like the railroad uh debacle, you know.
What railroad? Oh, the tram.
The
Yeah.
tram
Yeah. Oh, the trolley.
the trolley.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
got
Well,
there.
you know, I like the idea of that. I actually would have liked some sort of inclusion of in the movie about that because I heard about that after I saw the movie. My friend told me about that, and it just makes the situation seem so much dire. Why it is so necessary to get this done immediately. Why it is so necessary to send Ryland up to space. Why, you know, there are no other options. Like she's literally nuking the Earth at points to speed up the heating of the world. Like that is such a dire consequence and such a dire situation that I would have really appreciated something like
They
that being in
talk
there.
about in the book at one point they covered the entire Sahara Desert with solar panels. to
Like
harness
stuff
more
like that
energy.
really shows they tried every other option. There's
Yeah.
nothing left.
Like the book, she talks about these things that these efforts they're making to, try and preserve energy, to try and prolong the issue, blah, blah, blah. And I agree. Like, if you think of Interstellar, which, again, they're both incredible movies. I like Interstellar a little more. Interstellar is the situation is dire and we see it. You know what I mean?
You
Like, they
see the
show us
crops,
the
the
crops are
yeah.
dying. We see the situations where people can't go to school, everything with his kids. It's not just to build that relationship, it's to build out the world and show just how truly desolate the situation has become. And I think some of the filmmaking choices, you can see that, like the literal, like the aspect ratio changes that they did for, the flashback sequences, things like that really emphasize this kind of downer tone, at least for me. But I would have liked to see more in the actual story of this stuff from the book, where it's like, that's a big deal. She's not just doing this one mission. They're trying all these things to try and save the world. So it would have been cool to see more inclusion of
I
that.
agree.
Um, one of the other big things too, in the book, after Rocky saves Grace from the Adrian incident, Grace actually returns the favor more. Like in the movie, he kind of is just like waiting,
Just sits there. That bothered me a little bit too.
which he does in the book too. He does have to do a lot of waiting. But so, all right. Another thing that a very minor change that'll make sense to bring up now for this other change is how Rocky eats was changed.
I heard
It's
about
a,
this one
it's
too.
a lot grosser in the book than it is in the
And it's
movie.
gross in the movie, just fisting his own ass. He's fisting his
Yeah, but in
bum.
the book, he literally like releases his guts from inside.
So he has guts?
Yeah, I mean,
Are
he's
they
a
like
living.
rocks still?
I don't know, because there was no visual. It was like in the book,
Yeah,
it
well, they
wasn't in
could.
the movie.
I don't know if they describe it as like pink intestines or like just rocks
There
pouring
were
out of
just
him.
like gut images, just like rocks that
Well, that's
take in
honestly,
this.
they probably could be. I don't know.
It's like some kind of guts. He has like this giant orifice like in his like bottom area, I guess, and just like guts
Gross.
come out, and like that's how he eats the food. And
Yeah, he's just
so it's like
fisting in the
super
movie.
gross. Yeah, he does. I mean, which is weird and gross, but it was not as gross as the book.
But I heard in the book he's
Um,
also like ashamed of the way he eats. Like he doesn't like it.
yeah, he doesn't want people to see it,
But
for
he's like
sure.
surprised that humans like eating.
Yeah, it's the opposite. It's kind of like the opposite of sleep, where he's like, no, I need to, because in the book it's also like that, where he's like, oh, I need to watch, because it's for safety.
Yeah, because
But
just
he doesn't
still.
want to be around people while he's eating because he doesn't want them to see it.
I know it's small, but I actually would have liked that being included too. It like humanizes Rocky more as like a different species, but also has these things that he's embarrassed about, or like the sleeping thing, like these things that he's very strongly opinionated on.
Yeah,
And
I
I thought
agree.
I thought that would have been cool.
But so with the Adrian incident, what happens is Grace like then tries to do this like procedure thing on Rocky, where there's like ash and soot inside of him from heating up in the oxygen.
Yeah, he's got all
And
the
so
black shit all over him.
yeah, it's like this like ash or dust or whatever. And I think they describe it as ash in the book, if I remember. And so he tries to do this thing from, the other side of that structure, or the wall, the xenonite, where he tries to like blow it out with like air, like
To get rid of the ash.
yeah, from inside. And there's like a whole thing with that. And I was a little disappointed that they didn't include that moment in the movie. It was just Rocky brought himself back there pretty much, or
Yeah,
at least a lot of the way. And then he just kind of puts a heat lamp on him and then watches. And because also while Rocky's asleep, he's doing all the science stuff with the breeding of the Tamiba.
yeah.
But in the book, he deals with Rocky first, and then after all that, they do that. So they kind of like condensed it for the movie.
I didn't love that he just waited, because I what they did with Ryle and Grace was like he's gonna get it done. He's the guy who's, I mean, the whole setup of him finding the astrophage in the first place and like figuring out how it breeds is him doing every possible thing. And I feel like his buddy is dying. Like he's gonna try something more than a heat lamp. So when he put the heat lamp down, he's like, I built you a heat lamp. I was like, awesome. We're gonna get like a montage of him doing things, trying to fix Rocky, trying to help, and he just falls asleep next to him. I was like, okay, this seems a little out of character for him to not try anything else.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
I know he doesn't know what to do, but you could try stuff.
Right,
They're
and
scientists.
that goes along with what I was saying before, where the book really showcases his intelligence more than the film does, where it's
Yeah.
like he's constantly solving problems, figuring out situations, things like that. So,
It's his intelligence is showcased, and his compassion would be more showcased, and their friendship would be would benefit from that. The friendship that we see.
hmm for sure, yeah. Um, Two smaller things from the book. One, the beetle probes are a little more included. I was like watching the movie, the probes that he sends
Yeah,
uh
there's
all the stuff back. They're
yeah,
named John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
yeah.
They're named that because they're called beetles, like whatever. So,
And the Beatles starts
um,
playing too, so that was nice.
which was cool. I
Yeah.
liked that. But I was like waiting the whole movie for them to mention it once he was in space, and everything. I was like, all right,
Are they
is he
actually that
gonna?
important in the book?
No, it's not important. They just reference it throughout. So I was like
Oh.
waiting the whole time for it to get referenced. Like they're just mentioned more, I guess. And so, when he was starting to send the information back for a second, I like before the montage started, I was like, are they just not going to do that part from the book, I guess? And then they did. I was
Be a
like,
weird thing to
okay.
cut too, because it
It
feels like
just
tiny.
yeah, because it fits with Ryland Grace's whole pop culture thing,
Yeah.
where he references a lot of pop culture. Another one that was the other small one earlier on when he's working on the three astrophage dots.
Uh-huh.
He calls them Mo, Larry, and Curly, like they
Oh,
have
that's funny.
names, which is the Three Stooges. Which there's a reference to it, like a throwaway line in the movie when he loses them in the Venus box, and then he's like, "Oh, there we got the Three Stooges," you know what I mean? So he
Oh yeah.
references it, but in the book they have names:
We
Mo,
made a
Larry, and
baby,
Curly.
Carl.
Yeah, that was funny. But I just wished he actually called them Mo, Larry, and Curly in the
Yeah.
movie.
I heard that Carl is more in the movie than the books. Like he's actually more of a character.
I don't think he's even in the book. Like I don't even remember
I
him
heard
from the
that
book.
there's two security guards that are watching him, and Carl's the nice one, but he's like he has a couple lines and that's it.
It's not really like that's
Like
what I'm
he's not even
saying.
like a
Like
character, but him and Ryland like figuring things out together was actually so fun.
yeah, I agree. I like that. Also the karaoke scene is not in the book. That's like new to the
It's a
film, which I
great
like.
addition.
I think it's a great addition.
Yeah.
I agree. And then the last thing that I had with real changes that I saw, because like as you see, like half of these are just minor ones, and the other half are like actual like
Yeah, like
these are just all the ones that I noticed. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, in the book, like in the movie, you learn that it all works out. Like in the book, I don't think you really like know that because he's on Erid. So he just like sends it back, and it's just like I think there's like a line. One of the Iridian scientists are like, "Yeah, like we think the sun has started to get brighter, or it stopped dimming, or something like that." So there's like the assumption it worked. So that's why it wasn't like a complete like surprise, but you don't see it. You know what I mean? There's
Well,
no like because he's not there. You
I know
can't see it.
I would have liked that line because he doesn't really know if it worked or not. We know it worked because we see, well, like we know they got the messages, but Ryland is just he's going in. He has no idea what's going on back at Earth. So
I mean, I
a
don't even
nice
think
a line being like we see the sun is getting brighter. That would have been a little nice to hear.
yeah, like I don't even think you see Straw like hearing the messages in the book. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that's ever
I
a
heard
thing
that
because
was
again,
cut. Yeah, that was not in the books. I mean,
you know what I mean?
um,
We never see her receiving the messages because again, he's not there. So
I
it
would have
kind of
liked
is
for
this
him to
like
get a little bit of closure with that
it
line.
it it is this break where he like you know he sends it, and for us the audience, or I should say the readers in the case of the book, it's like, all right, we're told the sun is not dimming anymore, so we think it works, but we don't know. We don't go back. Like,
I
you
like
know,
that. It's his perspective, so like we know as much as he does. I
right,
do like that.
exactly.
I
So
don't love that we know now more than Rylan at the end of the movie,
yeah.
which is kind of annoying, but
And
is
then
that
obviously he that was pretty much it. There was also something with the very well. I was glad they did that. They ended with the classroom. I was really worried on the shot where him and Rocky were on the beach. I was like,
oh yeah.
oh, is this going to be the end? I was like, because it ends with him teaching a class in the book with him teaching a class of
Yeah.
Iridian students. So I was like, come on, you got to do that. That's such a good ending.
That's a great
And there's
ending.
so much emphasis on him being a teacher in the movie. So
Yeah.
I was like, you got to do it. And I really thought in that moment that was like the last moment. And then they got up again I was like, okay. And he teaches the class. I was like, let's go. That's such a good ending.
One thing I heard from my friend who read the book is that she wanted more of when he's on Arid, when Rocky says, "We can get you home," or "We worked on our, on the Hail Mary, we could get you home," and he says, "Can I think about it?" Like he wants to stay, but apparently in the book, I don't know if this is true or not. My friend told me this, that he thinks to himself, I'm already 40 years old now. They said it's going to be a 30-year trip to get back to Earth. He's like, I'll be 70 years old. He goes, there's no point. Like, I'm stuck here. So, like, in the movie, they kind of frame it as he doesn't want to go back. But in the book, from what I've heard, it's like, even if he wanted to, he really can't.
They do mention that stuff in the book. How long it would take, and the fact that, like, you know, he would be old when he gets back. But it is still, at least to me, it still came off when I read it as like, nah, I don't want to go back anyway.
Oh,
Like, this
really?
is like I read it as like, because they make a point, he doesn't, like, especially if you wonder like why even mention that he doesn't really have a partner, a spouse of any
Yeah, no
kind, like
kids. No, no,
no
not even the
kids.
dog.
Yeah, like it's important because it's like it, it seems like kind of just cruel and throwaway in the moment, but it emphasizes like he has nothing that ties him to Earth. So it makes him choosing to stay on Arid even when he can go home like all the more impactful. Like, this is just where my life is now. I have Rocky. I have my class. Like, this is where I am. So yes, they do make that point in the book, but to me it still came across as like, in both adaptations, the original book and the film, it comes across as like, this is where I want to be. This is just where I have a
Okay.
life. So
Okay, because from what I was getting from that, for the vibes I was getting from what I was being told, was that like the book makes it seem a little bit like he's stranded, you know?
no, I don't
Okay.
think he's really stranded. I think he chooses at that point to be where he is, to just stay where he is. Like, I think he knows he can go home, but he's just happy where he is. So there's nothing that's calling him home. Like, there's
Okay.
no reason for him to go home.
I can glaze this movie forever. Let me just say some things I didn't love. Okay? Why it's not a 9.5, 9.7, 9.10, 9.10. A 10. A
9.10.
10 out of 10.
Isn't that just
Um
a 9.1?
I guess it would be a
And
9.1.
it's
It's
not a
a
9.1. You gave it 9.3. So
9.3. All
there
right,
you
so it's a
go.
9.3 because of, like I said before, the flashbacks kind of strange for me that they didn't do too much in the present day. It was just more to seem like just more to show the audience what happened. Um I didn't see a necessity to be shown like that. I thought it would have relevance to him being like, "Oh, now I remember this. Now I remember this. Now I remember this."
Well,
That really only happened when he started to remember stuff at the beginning.
it's funny you say that. There is way more flashbacks in the book than in the movie.
And I
Like, I
feel like
felt
they'd be
like
more important, right?
they cut. No, they just kind of consolidated things.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think it would have been. The thing is, the film does put more of a focus on Rocky and Grace's relationship than in the book. I mean, that's obviously the purpose of the story in general, but like, there's more time and attention. Like, obviously, a big change. You mentioned this at the very start, is also like when he meets Rocky, right? And you were like, oh, how do I feel about that? Like, you know, the book also makes such a big moment of it. It's like such a big deal, like such a big reveal. That's why I was like, well, it feels so washed away in the movie a bit because like we already knew it
Yeah,
coming
everyone
into it with all the
knows.
advertising.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, and then as to the flashbacks, like, um, I don't know, I just completely felt like, uh, in the movie, I thought it worked because I think they were like, if you were to keep cutting away every 2 seconds, it would be harder to build that emotion that we will feel for Grace and Rocky by the end of the movie. That emphasis needs to be there. So we're getting the flashbacks that we need to get to understand what happened. So it's not even so much like you're right, because in the book it is a little more tailored to, he remembers it, and it's not necessarily something that helps him out on the ship. Sometimes it's, again, like, when he realizes that Ava Straut betrays him and forces him to go on the trip, because she doesn't really have a choice either, I
Yeah.
guess. So, like, he really grapples with these things.
I would have liked
So
to seen that. So that's what I'm saying. I wish
yeah.
there was a more of an effect on him personally when he started to remember things later in the movie. And then the other thing that I didn't love was I thought this movie was really funny. Great, great moments. But I thought at some points they MCUified the humor. I thought that any serious moment was pretty much just taken away almost immediately with a joke. Even when Ava betrays him, he starts climbing on the counters. Everyone in my theater's laughing. I was like, dude, this is fucked up. Like, this guy's life is about to be over. And people are laughing. And then he's running around outside like a cartoon character, and people are laughing. And then he's like crying on the ground. And I'm like, okay, now people are understanding that this is serious. Like, I thought that the movie being so lighthearted and funny, having that scene be a lot more darker would have benefited the movie, because that would have been like a huge moment in his, not just his memory, but as his character. Like, this is a dark moment in this movie. Everything else is so funny and lighthearted. This is a very unexpected dark moment, but they kind of played parts of it for laughs. So I thought that was something that I noticed every now and then. I was like, that seems like a serious thing. It has to do with like them not doing the dire aspects of it. Also, it's like not as serious as maybe it could have been.
I sort of, I sort of agree. I agree with that one scene. I think you make an interesting point that they could have played it off, a lot more seriously.
Yeah.
I think that would have been an interesting contrast in tone. But the humor, I think, is exactly what it should be for this character.
I think most
This
of the time
very
it works.
2000s Reddit kind of humor, because
Yeah.
you have to think about who Ryland Grace is. He's like a millennial middle school teacher. You know what I mean? Like, this
Yeah.
is very much the kind of humor that he would have. So I think it's fitting. And I don't think that the film ever needed to take too much of a serious tone. And it did allow for moments and dealing with, the gravitas of space. But overall, I don't think it necessarily had tonal issues. And I don't think when they eventually, like, obviously the moment between him and Rocky, when he finally tells Rocky the truth, like, I'm not going home, and then Rocky offers him the extra astrophage so he can go home, and he's like super emotional, and then obviously has that joke where he's like, I didn't mean any of that, that's just something you say. I
That
thought it
was
was a
funny.
great, it breaks the tension, but it also, I didn't think it, like, something like that took away from the emotional moment we just
No,
got.
not that one. I think it wasn't him. Like, everything he said made sense for the character. It's nothing he did that I was like, "Oh, this is stupid." It was just like situational. Like really specifically that scene when he gets betrayed. He wasn't making jokes or anything, but him climbing on the counter, it's like played in the situation for laughs. And him running around and getting tackled, like, that's played for laughs almost. And like, if he said a funny joke or something, like he did do a funny joke, he was like, "Come on, guys, come on, what are we doing?" Like, he was being funny, but like obviously humor is a coping mechanism for him too.
Hmm.
So that made sense for him to make a joke in that situation. But the situation being a joke itself didn't make sense for me, you know, or having like being made sort of as a joke.
Well, I mean, I get it. I don't think the intention was to play the situation as the joke, but I understand what you're saying. It more, I think the dialogue I would use is more like just twisting that into, a comedic light, but I don't think the situation itself was being played as a joke. I
Yeah,
think,
it did have
I mean, it
comedy.
was a big climax towards the end of the film. So it's
Yeah,
this
yeah.
whole big moment of, like, you realize what's going on. So I don't think they're playing it as a joke. They're just twisting comedy into it, like they do with most scenes in the film. So, I mean, I get what you're saying. I think it's a fair point. I like half agree with it, but
And I thought the humor though, really, besides just really that, was the only one that really bothered me. But it really worked, man. I mean, Rocky and Grace's relationship was actual peak. Like, that is such an amazing duo right there. That's why I wish that scene had him trying to save Rocky more, because their friendship was so special to me. And then I'm like, oh, why is he just doing nothing? So I just really love the relationship that they built between those two.
yeah, but then obviously you have that moment where he goes back. I
Yeah, that
love it.
was
It's one of my
great.
favorites
He
in the books, where
chooses
he's
to
like,
save him.
I can either go home or I can save Rocky. And he chooses to save him. And
That was
it's obviously
beautiful.
such a big point for his character. You think of his arc throughout the film. Like, he's like, it's really about, like, this guy. I like that he's not trying to be a hero, and that the film doesn't try to build him as a hero. He's an
Yeah.
average guy who's stuck in this extraordinary position that he doesn't remember how he found himself in, that he didn't put himself into, willingly. And so, he doesn't have to live up to the moment necessarily. And ultimately he does, because he learns something. That's the point of a film. A character hopefully learns something, but he's not just like, that would have really MCUified it if he's just like, this middle school teacher who lives up to the task right away. He
Yeah.
relies on his wits and his intelligence and his what he knows to survive in a situation that he finds himself in.
Dude,
Not that he's just a hero.
even when they're on Arid, with Rocky and Grace, they're now fluent in each other's languages. I thought that was such a good, like, they don't even mention it, but obviously, like, you
I mean,
as the
Rocky's
viewer,
kind of just fluid in it right
he
away
kind of is.
because
He
he
doesn't have a computer
uses.
to tell him what he's
I
saying.
mean, he's just because he, using the surface. I don't know how he knows. They kind of like in the film have one cut where you kind of hear what he hears, and it's like clicks. So it's
Oh
like
yeah. Well,
I do think maybe they're just insinuating that can he just hears things in his language. I don't
yeah,
know.
maybe, but at least Grace is fluent in Rockies at the end, which was really sweet.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, I
they don't
like
need the
that.
computer anymore; they can just
And
be
he doesn't have the
themselves.
ball now. He's got one that matches like his.
Oh
I
yeah,
was so glad they did the party scene in the book. All right, by the way, in the book, that whole scene with the like screens, that room doesn't exist
really? That
in
was
the
so
book.
great.
That's not in the
When they
book. That
watch, wait, so
doesn't.
how does he get Adrian then? Does he watch Rocky in there?
Yeah, that's just not a thing in the book. He just it's the same thing.
Well, do they call the planet Adrian in the book
Yeah,
or no?
yeah,
So does he just say it because like, oh, I like Rocky,
yeah.
Adrian?
I think he mentions Rocky to Rocky, but I
Okay.
don't think he shows him Rocky.
Oh, okay, okay.
He just
Yeah,
like mentions it at some point, and then
yeah,
he's like, when he's like, we got to name it, and he names it Adrian, which is such a cool moment in the movie. I think that
yeah.
I think they did that one well too. But yeah, no. So that whole like room doesn't exist.
Wow.
But they do have the party celebration after they get the Tamiba, and he does have the party clothes like in the book, like
Yeah,
he
yeah,
dresses
yeah.
up in the book
Got all the spikes on him and
to
stuff.
yeah, he like dresses up. He's like, this is like party attire, celebration attire. And I love that they brought that over from the book
That's
because it's
fun.
such a cute, like you talk about personality, like that's such another one of those moments. So
I
I
also
just love how
heard
real they made him.
I heard that they mention how long Rocky's been in space in the book because in the
Yeah, it
movie
was like
they
it
don't
was like
mention it.
40 something years
In the
he's
book,
in
I
space.
think someone told me it was 43.
Yeah, it's like 40 something
But in the
years that he's in
movie,
space.
like I was wondering that the whole time. I was like, how long has this guy been sitting out here? Because
They
he's blocking the astrophage. You know, I'm like, how long has this guy
yeah.
been sitting out here?
Yeah.
And it would make it also seem like it would make Rocky, I think, give him a little more depth that he's been with either with a dead crew for 40 years or he knew his crew for 40 years and they just died, like stuff like that. I thought that would have
And they
been.
also make it a bigger thing, a bigger like moment in the book when he teaches Rocky about relativity and like explains what happened.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was one thing now that you mention it. I didn't like that was just part of a montage. Like that's something Rocky like deals with, in the moment there where he's like, "Oh." Like cuz that's a whole thing where Ryland Grace is like, "Wait, these like the Iridians don't know about relativity." He's
And
like
they don't
it's
know
like
about radiation.
yeah, like they don't know about these things because they don't have eyes, and they don't see that. Like it's just a really interesting. And again, it comes back to just scaling all the science back. And I understand scaling a lot of it, but there are some of these things that I wish they included, like the moment where he's like Rocky, like they suffered from radiation poisoning, like, and just like let that moment sit.
Yeah.
I do wish that happened.
I do think that they did a really great job of making the Iridians feel like an alien species. You know, like they have their own culture and history and science. I thought that was really cool. The
Yeah,
whole
me too.
montage of them learning each other's languages, trying to communicate. Grace is like, "What the hell is this thing?" when he gives him things and he's trying to open it. I thought that was awesome when he's learning all about Rocky. It was so
Yeah,
great.
no, it is really cool. I love the way they like make, the Iridians feel and how they build up Erid in the film. Like, I
Yeah.
just think it really is done so well. It's such a great movie.
And the party attire is part of that too. Like they have
It
party attire,
is.
dude.
It
We have our
is.
hats. They have party attire.
They have party attire, which is like funny because then I guess Rocky was like naked for most of the
Yeah, wait, they wear clothes? I didn't
movie
think
because they
about that.
wear clothes. So it's like, okay, I guess. But
Okay. Gonna
no,
hit
I mean, the
that.
film really is like an Interstellar meets ET. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just such an ethereal experience. It's meant to be seen in a movie theater. It's, from its visuals to its storytelling. This is just such a pristine adaptation. I think it's so rare to get such a faithful and exciting and entertaining adaptation of a novel. And for a movie that's an original like this to have the success, we talk about the box office, but also just how incredible of a film it is and that word of mouth, like this is an early contender for film of the year for me.
Yes, totally agree. It wasn't 5 stars for me, but I mean, it's so fun and it's so beautiful.
I gave it the 5 stars.
If you have, I know
was
I
there.
gave it 5 stars and then I thought a little bit, I was like, that's 4.5. I'm getting ahead of myself. But if you if somehow you haven't seen this movie already, go see it. I mean, this is just see it in IMAX. It's so special. This is a
It's
great
one of the
movie.
best experience. Special is a great way to put it. It's one of the best experiences you'll have in a movie theater.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that. I mean it's the kind of movie that reminds you that that cinema in general, very much like space, it has endless possibilities. Like it just anything you can do anything.
Yeah,
And you can be
absolutely.
anything. And it is just such an experience. And
Um,
look, the Oscars just ended. We have a whole year. Could Project Hail Mary play a big role in the Oscars next
dude,
year?
I'm already hearing people. I mean, obviously, very early. A lot of the movies aren't out yet, but people's early predictions for best actors for the Oscars next year. I'm hearing Ryan Gosling for Project Hail Mary. I'm hearing Sebastian Stan for Fjord, which is coming out whenever it is. Matt Damon for Odyssey. Timothy Chalamet for Dune, and then probably some mysterious fifth guy. But
You didn't even say Tom Cruise for Digger, who's
and Tom
probably
Cruise for
the
Digger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom
Tom
Cruise for
Cruise is
Digger.
definitely the person everyone's expecting to be the leading candidate.
So there you go. So you get 5 right there. I mean, imagine if all 5 of those are in it. I mean, you never know. Could be cool.
I am not confident Ryan Gosling will be nominated for this movie. Not that he
No.
doesn't deserve it. I'm not confident. But it will. I do think it will get a Best Picture nomination as of right now. I would say, and it's going to do very well with the technicals. It'll,
Yes.
all across the technical board, it'll get nominations and hopefully some wins. It's got some behemoths to go up against this year in the Odyssey and Dune and Disclosure Day and a bunch of stuff. But man, like if they properly campaign this in the fall, maybe put it back in theaters for in October or November or something like that, and really remind people how much we all loved it when it first came out, like they did with Sinners, for example. Like I think it'll do well. I mean, I'm not saying it's at the same level of Sinners, but it reminds me of when Sinners came out about a year ago, in April, and it had just this. It was a not a franchise film, an original film or non-franchise film, and just had this big mass appeal, where everyone loved it and was going out to see it and
Yeah.
talking
Get a
about it.
lot of
It was
love.
just so I could see that with Project Hail Mary. Will it be Sinners? No, but um, I, I don't think we should forget about this one just because of its release date.
No, absolutely. Getting a lot of love. Speaking of upcoming movies, you want to talk about some trailers?
Sure. Yeah. So we already, we might as well get right into it since we're beating around the Dune bush. Dune
Yeah.
Part 3, the trailer is out. What they're calling a teaser. So if this is a teaser, I can't wait to see the full trailer.
It was like 2 minutes
And
long.
I know, right? Teaser is 2.5 minutes. Teaser. All right, great. The trailer should be like 10 minutes. Let me get some popcorn. I am so fucking excited. Like this is going to be incredible. I am making the bold prediction that if they can nail this ending here with adapting Dune Messiah, and I think they will be putting elements of Children of Dune, the third book, into it as well. If they can make that work and really finish this thing off here, you are looking at one of the greatest trilogies that has ever been made. And I know you disagree. We're talking about this in a group chat of ours. It would be better than any Star Wars trilogy that's been made.
That is one of the most
Um,
insane things I've ever heard in my life.
I really don't think that is that insane of a take. I do think that there would be people who agree. I mean, I think it would be. I don't know if it would beat Lord of the Rings, just because the first Dune movie is not as good as Fellowship. It's just not. I love.
I like
but
the first Dune movie more than Fellowship. I don't really enjoy the first Dune movie. I think it's really boring. I think Fellowship's really boring. But
I
you know
think you
what?
just struggle. You need time to get into these franchises.
Do you think Dune 2 is better than Empire?
Oh, it is tough. It's close, man. It is
Because maybe
close.
maybe I'll give you Dune 1 is not better than New Hope. There's no way you think that.
No.
So if New Hope is
Probably
better
not.
and Empire is better, sure, maybe Dune 3 is better than Return of the Jedi. I'd almost guarantee it for you. Then that's 2 out of 3 are Star Wars.
But I don't know that Empire is better than Dune Part 2, to be honest with
Dude.
you.
I thought
really
Dune
don't
Part 2
know.
was great. I'm not a Dune guy. Like, you love Dune. I'm not really excited for this movie. I can take it or leave it. I really enjoyed Dune Part 2, not as much as everyone, and I didn't really like the first one. I'm definitely gonna watch this. I'm definitely gonna be excited when it comes out. But as of now, I'm like, yeah, sure, it looks good.
Nah, it looks like I'm at the point where I'm almost a little more excited for it than the Odyssey at this point. Like,
Whoa, Dune is like your fucking bread and butter, dude. Dune is your
I
jam.
guess, but the thing is like I wasn't more excited for it than the Odyssey, and then that trailer came out, and I was like, oh shit, they are fucking cooking with fire here. Like
Yeah,
they got something. And here's the difference, like the Dune trilogy is one cohesive trilogy, one cohesive vision. None of the Star Wars trilogies are really that. And so that's what I think would also elevate it for me too, is that they would have landed this remarkable sci-fi epic trilogy with a cohesive vision that they nailed every step of the way, where we see this rise and fall of this, you know, giant figure in Paul Atreides, this tragic figure in Paul Atreides. I just think it is some of the most incredible stuff we're getting today is these Dune movies. The first movie has flaws. It's still an incredible movie. And then the second movie is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. Honestly, it
yeah, you
really
love that
is.
shit. Yeah,
So I mean, the visuals of that movie, what they did, with Fade Rotha on his planet, and everything with the double negative that they got
yeah,
there.
yeah.
It
That was
is.
cool.
I mean, it's just not being done by any other filmmaker today.
It
It's not.
it was really cool. What'd you think of the trailer? I mean, well, first, one of the things that stood out for me from the trailer, didn't our boy Duncan Idaho, didn't he die?
Yeah, he
So are they just
did.
straight up spoiling that he's back? I knew he was gonna come back because all the advertising and stuff, but like, isn't that a spoiler?
I mean, I can answer this uh truthfully, or I can.
Well, it
I
is a
mean,
spoiler, right? You could just say like, I mean, do you know how he comes back?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a big part of the plot.
Do you think they should have put it in the trailer that he's back? Because he was one of my favorite characters in the first one.
I don't think it's a spoiler. I think it's just going to confuse people, is what I think
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
I think I can see how it's confusing. I can't really even talk about it because again, it would be a spoiler.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I
Well,
know what happens with Duncan Idaho. I know what's going on in this movie and his character. But for the purposes of not spoiling it for you, or obviously for anyone at home, but usually when you and I have seen it, we just say fuck it.
yeah.
But
Well, yeah, we haven't seen. You just know this from online or from reading it?
reading it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
know it from reading it. So, I know what happens. We wouldn't have known it yet. We're not at that point of the story. We're getting there,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but
Yeah.
they put him in the trailer because Jason Momoa has a big enough role that they have to put him in the cast list, the
Yeah. Yeah.
advertising. Um, but what I find interesting about that is, so Rebecca Ferguson is in the cast,
Mm-hmm.
and Josh Brolin's name noticeably wasn't. Neither of their
Uh,
characters are in Dune Messiah like the book. Like
wait,
Gurney
wait.
and Lady Jessica are not even in the story at that point.
Are so is Dune Messiah the third book?
So technically, Dune the Dune book is made up of like 3 little books or something like that, like
Okay.
sections. So technically, Dune Messiah is like the second book. It's the second book in the series, but the first book, the Dune book, was split into 2 films because it's so big, it's so dense.
Oh, I got you. So what did you think of the trailer? Like, what did you? I don't know.
I
What did you
loved
think?
it. I mean,
Yeah.
so my biggest concern was the visuals, because obviously Greg Fraser, who we were just talking about with Project Hail Mary, is not returning for the Batman Part 2 or for Dune Part 3. It's crazy, dude. His resume is so goated.
Yeah, he's stacked.
Because he's doing the Beatles biopics, the 4 Beatles movies coming out in 2 years. So they switched to Linus Sandgren, who was the cinematographer for La La Land and No Time to Die,
Okay.
and actually I think Wuthering Heights he was, which one of the only upsides was
Staying on his.
no, the visuals were great in that
Oh, it
movie.
was
I
good.
mean,
Okay.
he
Okay.
did his part. It just, the movie wasn't great, but he did his part. And so I was worried about it because um it's different, the way that they're filming it, but it looks great. And especially because the first 2 movies are primarily on Arrakis. This one, not as much. It's more out in the rest of the universe.
Okay.
I
Which
mean,
you
there's
would think that the the visuals would be even more exciting.
different, which is, well, the thing is, Greg Fraser really worked for this desert kind of visual that they were going for.
Yeah.
I was like reading about like how they did partial like digitizing IMAX film. This has true IMAX footage in it, similar to what Nolan does. And Sangren, who plays around with a lot more of like blues and greens in his photography, like I just think it works for this Messiah story anyway. Not that we wouldn't have taken Greg Fraser, but if you look at the body of work Sangren has built and like what he specifically, the kinds of shots he produces, it fits for Messiah, and the visuals look fantastic. I mean, again, I'm not really going to get into some of the spoilers. We got our first look at Robert Pattinson as Scytale, which was awesome.
He looks great.
He's such a good villain. The one thing I love about the Dune franchise and the adaptation has been the villains, because they have adapted them all so well. You know, Stellan Skarsgård as Baron Harkonnen, fantastic. Austin Butler's Feyd-Rautha was fantastic. Robert Pattinson playing Scytale, like, I think is going to be so good.
Dave Bautista was great.
Dave Bautista is great. Like, there's so many. Charlotte Rampling, great.
Don't know who that
you know, she's the head of the Bene Gesserit.
Is she the one that he says silence?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, so that means okay. Yeah, she's great. Dude, did you see the posters that they revealed? I mean, you know why, but I just want to say, like, Florence Pugh's skincare routine is
actually we
bro.
don't. We're all as Dune fans are not sure what's going on with
She looks like she's covered in like
that's not from
mud.
the book, I don't think.
Really?
She looks like Paul Mescal at the end of Hamnet.
Yeah, dude, she's covered in shit, bro. Like,
she literally, you know, when he's there at the stage when they're doing the play, the Hamlet play, and he's just covered in the white paint and shit.
Yeah.
Like, she literally looks like that.
Yeah, dude.
No, or she looks like PETA in
she was like pretending to be a rock.
Fire. Yeah, in Catching Fire. No, but listen, I think that the trailer looks so fucking awesome. I love the music. The chanting with Timothée Chalamet was so cool.
Yeah.
I've watched it a bunch of times. I think it just looks like it's going to be an incredible movie, an incredible finish. And I'm glad that Villeneuve stuck out with the vision. He was going to do another film in between 2 and 3. And he said, he was like, no, I feel like I owe it to the audience to finish this story now. Which I like, that we're not waiting years, you know what I mean? Like, that he was able to get this trilogy done in the time that we only got one Batman movie.
Yeah, it's
it is remarkable work from him. Yeah. And I'm sorry, dude. I know you don't love it as much as I do, and that's fine, because we're probably going to have the roles reversed for the next trailer we talk about.
I do. Yeah, we are 100%.
But I do think that if they nail this, I'm not saying they will, if they nail this cohesive vision, this remarkable world building, this truly incredible sci-fi epic, it will be one of the greatest trilogies ever created. And I think it could be my favorite movie of the year. Like, it looks so good.
Before we move on to some Spider-Man talk, what do you think? Because there's a lot of crossover, this is a hard question someone asked online. What do you think has the better cast, The Odyssey or Dune Part 3?
Oh. And I actually have another thing that I also want to mention real quick too, before, that's going to connect us between Dune and to Spider-Man.
Okay.
But,
because the crossover is Robert Pattinson, Zendaya. There's like 2 more. Robert Pattinson, Zendaya.
Florence Pugh's in The Odyssey now, no, right? She's
no, I don't think so. There is some crossover. I don't remember who it is, but Robert Pattinson and Zendaya for sure.
Well, now you got me curious. Hold on.
Yeah, wait, let me look at what I was looking at before. But I personally say The Odyssey, but I am interested to see what you think.
Robert Pattinson, Zendaya. No, I don't know. That might be. I mean, there's crossover with Spider-Man. Obviously, Tom Holland, Zendaya, and John Bernthal are in both of those movies. But
yeah, but hold on, let me find this.
Travis Scott, maybe.
Travis Scott, the GOAT?
I would probably say The Odyssey. Well, let me pull the Dune cast. I would probably say The Odyssey, though. As much as I love the Dune cast.
Okay, here we go. Ready? The crossover is Zendaya, Robert Pattinson. Oh, wait, that's it.
End of list. All right.
End of list. And then The Odyssey. So you got Zendaya, Timothée Chalamet, Rebecca Ferguson, Anya Taylor-Joy, Robert Pattinson, Florence Pugh, uh, Javier Bardem and Jason Momoa, and then the Odyssey has Tom Holland, Zendaya, Matt Damon, Anne Hathaway, Charlize Theron, Robert Pattinson, Elliot Page, Lupita Nyong'o, John Bernthal, Mia Goth, Benny
Okay.
Safdie.
The Odyssey has a deeper roster. They have a deeper bench. Dune Part 3 has more of the stars. Like today's stars. Like our generation stars.
That's actually that's fair. That's fair. I'll give
Because
you
if
that.
I think we'll look back
Jason
at
Momoa,
Dune,
yeah.
like we'll look. He was like honestly not even really who I was thinking of when I was saying
Timothy
that.
Chalamet?
Chalamet, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, well, two of those cross over though.
I know, but then they have Chalamet, Florence Pugh, and Anya Taylor-Joy, who I think are three of also going to be like, we're going to look back at those five, and we're like, man, those are like five of the biggest stars of that time, all in one movie.
Yeah.
And then obviously you add like Josh Brolin, if he'll get a couple scenes, maybe. You get Jason Momoa, you get Javier Bardem, Rebecca Ferguson. So yes, there's crossover. Like I said, Odyssey probably has a deeper bench, but we're going to look back at Dune Part 3 and be like, man, how did Denis get all of those biggest stars in one movie?
We are very lucky that these two movies have stacked casts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm so excited for both. And then we had seen so much of the Odyssey trailers now, and it looks so good. But looking at these Dune trailers, like that Dune Part 3 trailer, it does look like it's going to be one of the best movies of the year. And like, it'll probably be your favorite of the three, just based on what happens.
I like
next.
Part 2, so yeah.
What happens
I think Part
next.
2 was great.
But like, it's going to be tough for me because Part 2, like, for example, I like Empire more than 1 and 3, right? So I don't know if I'm going to like 3 more than 2. 2 is like one of my favorite movies ever. Like, it genuinely is one of my favorite movies ever. So we'll see. I'm so excited. I can't really say much more. There's a lot I could talk about this trailer in relation to the books, but I don't want to spoil it. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm very excited. It looks incredible.
Yeah. What do you want to say before we move on to Spider-Man?
Oh, right. Thanks for reminding me. So, little interesting thing we had here. 2 things about Marvel and these upcoming movies with the theaters. First of all, we know that Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday are coming out on the same day, and neither of them are expected to move that date. So both of these titans will be released on December 18th, with the hope being that the holiday season will carry enough momentum for both blockbusters. However, theater owners are worried for the movie that's coming out the week before on December 11th, Jumanji 3. Poor old Jumanji 3. Coming out the week before. It'll have a good opening weekend probably while everyone waits, everybody waits. But there is concerns that movie's going to get absolutely crushed after its opening weekend.
Probably.
By Dune
Bad
and
time
Avengers.
to be a movie.
So, and you know, to segue, we know Dune is gatekeeping the IMAX screens from Avengers because they secured the theaters first. Spider-Man Brand New Day, and this will be our segue, which is currently scheduled to release on July 31st, will not screen an IMAX in domestic theaters on its opening weekend due to the Odyssey, which secured those IMAX rights, which releases 2 weeks earlier. So IMAX, or the Odyssey, excuse me, has a long runway with the IMAX theaters. I wouldn't be surprised if Brand New Day gets shut out pretty much entirely. It'll still be in other formats, standard and Dolby, but the Odyssey is the first ever movie filmed entirely on IMAX, entirely.
So it's going to get it for a long run.
It's going to get it for a long run, so that Marvel, which used to be like Disney and Marvel, they would not take no for an answer. Now their 2 big releases this year are getting kicked out of IMAX to other films. It's just an interesting, sign of the times.
That is interesting. It does suck because I do want to see just all those movies on IMAX. But you know what? When you're naming, we're getting this back to back, I don't even care, dude. We're eating good this year.
Yeah, go see it in Dolby.
Yeah, it's fine. So we did just get the new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. Dude, I loved it. I really don't know anyone who had any idea of what was actually going on in this movie before the trailer came out. We still don't really know, but it looks insane. What do you think?
See, we're the opposite. I thought the Dune trailer was insane, and you're like, yeah, it looks interesting. I think the Spider-Man trailer, you think it's insane? I think it looks interesting. I'm excited.
I thought it was awesome.
I didn't think it didn't like it did not blow me away the way the Dune trailer did. The same way it was vice versa for
Wow,
you.
yeah, I'm the opposite.
I was blown away by the Dune trailer, and I watched the Spider-Man trailer, and I was like, all right, yeah, this looks interesting. Um, I think that you can tell it's a new director. It's not John Watts anymore. It's Destin Daniel Cretton. Like I think that is apparent. Yeah, you don't really know what's going on. I like it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it.
think it'll be an interesting movie. Especially I really will enjoy seeing the dynamic between Spider-Man and Punisher.
Me
Like
too.
that'll be fun. Um, but I hope it doesn't come at too much of an expense of the Frank Castle we've grown to know, who is obviously rooted in a lot more serious, emotional, gritty kind of takes. I'm excited for the contrast. I just don't want them to pull him into the MCU humor himself,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. John Berthel seemed pretty confident that he fits right in. So I hope, and he knows that character really well. My only issue, so I thought this trailer was great. We see a lot of stuff going on. And my only issue is that every time we've had a pretty shitty Spider-Man movie, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, it's because there's too much happening at once. And I'm a little nervous. I mean, in this movie, you get Sadie Sink, who we don't see. We see the back of her. We don't know who she's playing. I'm assuming it's the person who's mind controlling people. So you get mind control in Sadie Sink. You get the Punisher and the tank stuff. You get the Scorpion. You get what looks like the Hand from Daredevil. It's like the ninja group.
Yeah, yeah. So now
And
people
then
think Daredevil might show up in the
Daredevil might
movie.
show up. You get Bruce Banner in it. And then you also get him like mutating and something going on with his powers. That's 6 different storylines. I'm sure they're all connect, or a bunch of them will connect, but
It's the Sinister Six.
it's that's all. We need a Sinister Six movie, but I am nervous that 6 different things happening at once is gonna make the movie feel overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we know what the runtime is going to be for it yet either, but
No,
it does definitely feel like it's juggling a lot. So we'll have to see. I mean, there's definitely a lot of interesting stuff. I enjoyed seeing my boy Tremel Tillman for a second there in the trailer.
yeah.
That was cool.
I think he's playing
Um,
the head of Damage Control.
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that. No, it looks like it'll be a fun movie. Like I think I'm gonna have a good time. I don't think it's gonna be like the best Spider-Man movie. I don't think it's gonna be better than Spider-Man 2 or the Spider-Verse movies.
I think it might
I
be the
don't
best.
I
I think
don't
it might be the best. I
I
don't want to get my
think that
hopes up too much, but I'm so
I
hyped.
think that's I you think it'll be better than the Spider-Verse movies? Like you got that impression from the trailer?
Yes, dude. I love this version of Peter who's
Wow.
just so depressed. His life fucking sucks. Oh, and there's also the MJ and Ned stuff. That's a 7th storyline. That's a 7th plot. The
Yeah.
MJ and Ned stuff. So there's all
Yeah.
that stuff. I love a depressed Peter. Dude, I've been waiting 10 years to see the Scorpion in live action. We're finally getting Scorpion. Michael Mando. After literally 10 years. It was 2017, so almost 10 years. Um, I, dude.
I don't know. See, I look, the roles are so reversed. I like Into the Spider Verse though is like just like in my opinion, I guess like as close to understanding Spider Man as a character as any story of his character will ever get.
Well,
And so
yeah.
like just because he's depressed, I mean, like
Are you
yeah, it'll
talking
be
about Peter
interesting.
B. Parker? Or are you talking about Miles?
I'm talking about Spider Man. So in this case, it's Miles, but
Right. So I always have liked Peter more than Miles. I liked I just like Peter more than Miles. So yes, I love the Spider-Verse movies. I think Into the Spider-Verse is top 3 Spider-Man movies. I think it's my 3rd favorite. But I just like Peter more. So if they make this movie peak, I'm just gonna like it because I like Peter more than Miles. I just think he's a more
yeah,
interesting
I guess
character.
I just don't think it looks as visually compelling as some other Spider-Man movies, and I don't think that.
Yeah, well you can't beat that animation,
Well, yeah, but even Spider-Man 2, I think kind of has a lot more. I mean, again, it's just a trailer, we'll see. But I think Spider-Man 2 is playing with some like more interesting visuals for the world, I guess itself. Like I
Yeah.
just it still look like that's an inherent MCU issue, I guess. I just don't love the way the world in the MCU looks.
It's
It's just
very
not.
gray in this movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the suit pops because it is very gray, but I don't like that. Like I want the world. It's New York City. You get Times Square. You get all this, all these buildings, these cars, these people. Like you're gonna get some color to pop.
Yeah.
The buildings are gray, but whatever. I don't. The best part about the Spider-Man movies, or one of the best parts, is the villains. I mean, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, like the Prowler, the Kingpin, like they're all great in all these movies. Sadie Sink is the villain. I don't know who she's gonna play. I don't know if she's gonna be the villain the whole movie. People think she's Jean Grey, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard because she has mind control powers. Um, I don't know. I don't know if the villains are gonna be as much as we want from a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, we'll see. I look. I think it looks really good. I don't think it's going to like blow my mind away or anything based off this trailer, at least.
Yeah.
I think it looks fun. You know what I
All right.
mean?
Well,
And so I'm excited to see it. It wasn't in my top 10 most anticipated. It's still not
it's
really,
my number 2. So
it's still not really in my top 10 based on that
it
trailer.
looks so good.
Like the trailer didn't really move the needle. I'm not like unexcited. I am excited to see it. I love Spider-Man, but it didn't like make me all the more excied. I was like, yeah, all right, no, well, I'm on track to,
Okay,
seeing it.
that's how you feel. I do think. I mean, Zendaya, she kind of has to hype him up, but she was saying like Tom's acting abilities in this movie
I'll
are
believe it when I see it.
no, dude. I mean, like he looks, he's doing great in front of what I've seen
I
in the trailer.
guess,
She
but he's
says like
pretty-
it's better than anything you've ever seen from him, and he's great in No Way Home. You cannot deny that.
I was gonna say he's like pretty depressed in No Way Home.
no,
so,
but he's the scene when Aunt May dies. Like he is so good in
Yeah,
that.
Tom Holland has a couple good scenes. I just don't think overall he is that like he's nowhere near like when we were talking about the Dune cast as like the big stars. Like he's not working on Timothy's tier, and
No, he's not as
working
good
on
as Timothy.
or Pattinson's tier. Or
He's not
anything
as
like
good
that.
as those people, but I do think you're like associating him with Marvel, so you're like, oh, he can't be that good.
No,
But I
Marvel, bro, are you kidding me? Angela Bassett probably
I know,
should have won an Oscar for that performance. In
he's
Black
known
Panther,
for Marvel.
so.
Like she's not known for Black Panther. Like it's
No,
not her
I know.
number
All
one
right, I
thing.
guess, but like, I don't think that being in a Marvel movie, in my opinion, means that you can't be a great actor. I just don't think he is shown anything outside of Marvel even as a really legitimately great actor,
I just think in No Way Home he was great. I think he was
I think
great.
he's good enough, but I don't think he's shown case enough versatility yet. Like that's why I'm excited for the Odyssey.
Yeah, Nolan
and,
trusts him, so
because like if he's going to deliver that kind of a performance that I'm looking for out of him, it's not going to happen in Spider-Man at this point because the character of Spider-Man is what it is, and he plays into it, and it'll happen in the Odyssey if it happens this year.
we'll
I
see.
think
We'll have to
I
see.
could be surprised, but yeah, I'm excited for the movie. Not as excited as Dune, but I am excited for it. I think it looks like a fun summer blockbuster.
Yeah. Let's move on real quick. I just want to talk about Invincible with you a little bit. I don't have too much to say because so you've only seen episode 1 of season 4. I've seen 1 through 3 so far.
Yeah, I kind of figured we would like when the season's over, like all shows, we'll do like a whole thing on it. Where
I thought we'd talk about it when it comes out now, and then not do episodic like for the next 5 episodes, but then we'll talk about it at the end.
Yeah.
What did you think of the premiere?
It was cool. Yeah, I liked it. I really like that we get to see them, especially like Mark kind of grappling with just where he's at following the events of that crazy finale and the crazy last few episodes we got in season 3.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big episode. There wasn't a whole lot going on. It really was kind of a little like you have a whole lot focusing with Debbie and, I forget what her boyfriend's name is. Dave, Paul, something like that. Like it's focusing on these quieter moments or like, where Mark's relationship is at, and with Eve and just like all of that, like focusing on those moments, like Oliver, he's seeing him older now and like kind of grappling with like the balance of being a kid and being a hero. And like, I just really like that this first episode was kind of set in that stage of like, it really straddled the line of like balancing, going on what happened at the end of last season. And now we're starting to set up what's going to happen this season. Obviously, Conquest at the end of the episode wakes up and leaves. No shit, that's what he was going to do. I don't know why you thought that wouldn't happen.
I was always like, Cecil's got a point. You got to be prepared for everything. No, you're a fucking idiot for that.
Yeah, he is, but Cecil's also grown more desperate as the show's gone on.
Yeah, he knows what's coming. He knows
so
Conquest is
I don't
one
think
of
he's
a
I don't
bunch.
think he's an idiot. I just think he's desperate. Like I do think there's a bit of a difference there.
He just made a mistake.
He made a mistake out of desperation. But I think we all were like, no shit, that was going to happen when he woke up.
Is episode 1, I don't want to spoil things for you, is episode 1 What is that? The one with the sequids?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Well,
all
from
right.
the sewers.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, that
Mark
was.
punching that guy's fucking head off. Like,
Yeah.
what do you think? Are you on? Do you think that was the right choice, or what do you think? Like, what would you
I mean,
have
there's
done?
two sides to it, right? Well, it's impossible for me to say what I would have
I
done.
would have punched his fucking head right
I
off,
don't
dude.
possess that power. Yeah, look, I get it, but at the same time, you are killing an innocent person
I know,
to
but
do it.
it's so tough because they were like, "There's
And he's the
1%."
last person
I
left
know,
in there.
but if they got out, man, the world is over. And they were like, so I like that Bulletproof backed up Mark, and then Rex. I can't believe his name is Rex now. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Rudy slash Rex, Robot, and Monster Girl were like, no, fuck you. And then they realized maybe that was the right choice. You know?
Well, I don't know that the episode ends with him kind of like doing
Yeah.
it, and they're just like sitting there like, what? You know what I mean? So
Oh, that's how. Oh,
I
my
don't,
bad. All
I
right.
don't really
Well, and
know.
like, yeah, they question.
But
They're
like
like, shouldn't
obviously
have
they're
done
going to
that.
question it because of Omni Man, and like, they're worried about him going down the same route. Like that's obviously the fear that's always hanging over everyone's heads is if Invincible is going to be like his dad, right? And
Yeah,
with this
exactly.
power, like how are we going to stop him? So, it's not surprising that people are going to question that decision, and I think leaving the first episode off there sets that up. So,
Yeah, and I think, yeah, I think even as the audience, we're kind of questioning like, I like to believe I'm like, there's no way Mark's gonna end up like that, but he is getting like desperate, but also he's just resorting to the absolutes every time. He's like,
yeah.
I'll kill anyone who hurts my family. I'm gonna punch this guy's fucking head off because it's my only choice. He's not really thinking about the other options
I
now.
mean, he's very driven by emotion,
Yeah,
and even more so now that he's gone through these traumatic experiences, near death experiences with his loved ones. Like, he's very much operating on emotion over logic. And so, it's going to be interesting to see now that he also knows, like, who he is in all these other realities, and like,
I know.
he knows who his father is. Like, he has all of these bad influences around him, I guess is one way to word that. So it's like, okay, where, is he well it's almost like the same thing with Paul Atreides and Anakin Skywalker. There's a fork in the road. Which way are they going to go
Yeah,
down?
and
You know
he's
what I
Mark is like
mean?
at that part right
And
now.
he's at that point right now. So, I mean, I think that's was really interesting to see, like, him grapple with, like, oh, at one point it would be impossible to imagine him crossing that line and killing an innocent
Yeah,
person. He would do anything he can to find another way to save them. Now it's like, we can sit here and debate all day and night if he would, if whoever it was would have been able to save him. The guy who
yeah.
was coming up with the fucking the disconnector thing. So, yeah, no,
Oh
it's
yeah,
interesting.
that was Bulletproof.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I mean, Mark has great character development through the show. Something I love about this show is that they keep bringing back the same villains and like threats, and they like actually talk about it in episode 3 a little bit, but they keep bringing back the same threats, like the Sequids, like Conquest is gonna come back at some point, and Angstrom is somewhere out there in the multiverse. Like, I just love that they could keep bringing them back and keep them interesting and do new stuff with all these characters. And eventually, I want either Conquest to die or Angstrom to die. I don't want them to come back constantly and constantly, but I do like the idea that they're like they keep coming back, and Mark has to realize that it's his fault that he didn't kill Angstrom, and then all that shit happened. He didn't kill Conquest. All this shit's gonna happen probably. I
yeah.
love that they bring him back.
It also is a testament to the show itself and how it feels more like a comic book than any other superhero show on today, because obviously it's animated, but also because the animation, style helps, the medium helps, but they're able to really explore this whole world and kind of treat it like a comic book series where villains would come and go and be back, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's very authentic in that way. It's really cool. So
yeah,
I love it. I got to watch
absolutely.
more.
And we're still invested. Like, every time they bring back another character, I'm like, oh shit, they're back. Let's
You're
go.
like, oh yeah, that guy. Oh
Yeah.
man, okay, here we go.
And
Yeah.
they're
So
also like looming threats. Like, I know Angstrom's gonna come back and do some crazy shit. I don't know if he's gonna bring more Invincibles. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I just like one day we're gonna see him back again doing something.
right,
Um,
yeah. So
and we haven't read the comics, so don't no one comment shit about the comics. We don't know anything about that. We don't want to know. Um,
I mean,
I don't want to know spoilers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want a spoiler if it's gonna be a spoiler for the show, but
Yeah, like if someone's like, "Oh, Eve dies in 3 issues from now, so it's probably gonna be this season." Don't say that shit, all right? Like,
yeah, right. You know what I mean? I'm good on that. Like, I didn't know
um,
Rex was gonna die last season.
that is something that got spoiled for me from comic book readers. That was really annoying.
Oh, that's annoying.
But I think you definitely got to watch episodes 2 and 3. Episode 1 was great. 2 is one of my favorites of the whole show. I think 2 is fucking amazing. It's funny. It's so interesting. You learn so much about a bunch of characters, and it's so great. Episode 2, I would start that tonight if you could. It is so peak, one of the best of the show. And then 3 was okay. 3 is my least favorite of the three of them, but um 2 is actually amazing. So you should
I'm
definitely
very
get on that.
curious. I've been so bad with TV, like
Yeah.
just keeping up with shows, even if I like them. I've been watching so many movies instead. It's interesting that you say that. The episode you're referring to is the one to like fourth or fifth highest rated episode so far of Invincible.
Yeah, I'm assuming the other ones are the Conquest season 3 finale, the season 3 episode before the finale, the Invincible War,
With the Invincible War,
and
those are
season
two
1
of them.
finale is definitely up there.
Yeah.
And then
And then
probably some
and
what
then the only other one that's higher is the episode right before the season 1 finale.
oh, the
Um
build up one.
the build up to it between
Yeah.
him and his dad. So those are the only episodes rated higher
Yeah.
than the
So
one you're referring to.
whenever you get the chance, definitely watch episode 2.
Yeah. No, I mean it's
It is
definitely I'm on it
amazing.
now. I'm on it.
All right, that's all I got. The show's awesome. That literally my favorite show of all time as of right now. I love it. I love it so
Yeah.
much.
That's crazy. I mean, I guess it makes sense for you. But
I
like
love it, man. I can
that's crazy.
I'm annoyed that I can't watch it every day of my life. I just want to watch more and more. I want this show. I
I
heard
mean,
they're
I
gonna make
really
like
like it.
I heard they're gonna make like 8 seasons or something like that, and I'm so glad that we are pretty much guaranteed that they're gonna stick with it because it's so popular, and that we're gonna get a full,
I
adaptation.
I I am really into it, but I don't know if I've other than the conquest stuff, the two episodes we just mentioned, the show has been really fun, but I don't think it's ever hit the same peak for me as that end of season 1 there with the everything between him and Omni-Man. Like that was just so insane.
No, but I'm waiting for that reunion. They
Yeah, I
got
mean,
a little bit of a reunion in season 2
I'm
for
not
one
checked out
episode.
of the show or anything, I'm
Yeah,
just saying that like it hasn't like it's not my favorite show of all time.
but I
You
do.
like it more than Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
I also do
Wow.
think that
All right.
there's a chance that we will get by the end of the series a better episode than that Omni Man Invincible fight.
It's
I think that
possible.
there's a
I mean, it's
chance.
possible. The series finale certainly could be,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I really like Invincible, and it definitely checks out that it would be your favorite of all time.
Yeah,
It's a great,
it makes sense.
it's a great show.
It was so funny that you loving the Dune trailer and being so hyped, and then me loving the Spider-Man trailer and being so hyped is just so on brand.
No,
That's
it
so
really
funny.
is. And then for the opposites of us to be like, no, it does look good. Like,
Yeah,
we're
it
just
looks
like,
good.
"Looks
I'm gonna see it.
good."
I'm gonna be hyped to see
You're
it when it
gonna
comes
see
out.
Yeah,
But then that's
definitely
all that
gonna be
goes.
excited to talk about it.
Yeah,
But,
exactly. Yeah.
um,
Yeah, and then so that's all I got for Invincible. I'm really hyped for season 4.
dude, we're gonna have to freaking like flip Willie or Marty to figure out if we're gonna talk about Doomsday or Dune 3 first when they both come out.
We gotta split. We gotta like rip a 2-hour episode and dedicate an hour to each one.
Bro, every episode's a 2-hour episode. Look at this episode.
I know. We gotta do like an hour for each one and just be like, all right, that's it.
We gotta do 2 hours for each one, probably. Knowing
Yeah,
how much
Holy
we'll
shit,
be able to talk
dude!
about
Holy
it.
shit! I'm so excited.
We'll just lock in.
Yeah.
All right. The last thing I want to talk about, I know it's been a long episode. The last few episodes have been particularly long for this show recently, but there's just a lot going on. We're really trying to fit it all in.
It's hefty these days.
But this was important that I wanted to get in this week, and that was this news around Val Kilmer, who actually will appear in the upcoming film titled As Deep as the Grave, with what will be an entirely AI performance. So the background here is that, yeah, I know, I feel the same way. Kilmer was originally cast in this years ago. And then he got throat cancer, obviously, and unfortunately passed away. So he didn't get to film any scenes. Instead of recasting, the filmmakers have used what they're saying, they used archival footage, family provided images, and digitally enhanced audio This all has the family's approval, and that's what they're going to use to replicate Kilmer's performance in this film. The director says Kilmer wanted to be a part of the story, and his daughter, Mercedes Kilmer, supports the decision. He'll appear in a significant role throughout the film, and the production says that they followed SAG guidelines and have compensated his estate. So I want to get your thoughts as we wrap up this week's episode. What do you, like, for a couple minutes here, what do you think about this, you know, and how it can reflect on an actor's legacy and just what this means for the future, like, of casting? We talked a lot earlier in my news nuggets about cast choices. Like, what are we doing here? What is going on?
I think this just shows how out of touch studios and directors can be. I mean, this is not going to help the movie. This is only going to hurt the movie. Why? Okay, the guy wanted to be in the movie. He died. That's unfortunately, that's kind of stuff happens. Recast. That's what you need to do. Unless they filmed a bunch of the movie and they're like, okay, maybe we'll, AI him into the end or a couple scenes. Maybe I can see that. Like what they did with the guy who died from Ghostbusters. And then in the new Ghostbusters, they had him show up as a ghost
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
for 2 seconds and he doesn't talk. Okay, I could see the argument there. Or with Carrie Fisher, they put her, CGI'd her face onto someone else at the end of Rogue One for like 2 seconds.
Didn't they do something similar with Philip Seymour Hoffman with the last of the Hunger Games movies as well? He didn't get to finish up some.
I don't know. I actually never saw the last 2 ones, so I don't know.
I think it was something with that, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, and he died, and they had to, like, kind of get around it for a scene or two. So
I get why that happens. I don't love it, but I get why, because you already have a movie made and you need to include certain parts or whatever. But this is just stupid. I mean, I feel bad.
Feel gross?
I feel bad. Like if the family knew he really, really wanted to be in it, this is like one of his wishes. He wants to be in it. It does feel gross. It's like, even if he wants to be in this movie, he's dead. He's looking down. He's like, oh, I wish I could still be in this movie as an AI character. Doesn't matter. It's gross either way.
I don't know. It's just like, it really is interesting, because then you have things where it's like, because this is gonna be gross. You're gonna watch it, right? You're gonna see Val Kilmer, but it's not really Val Kilmer.
That's all I'm gonna be thinking about. I'm not even pay attention to the plot and be like, that's a dead dude looking right at me.
Yeah, but you're like, but it's not the same as if you watch an old movie and it's a bunch of dead people.
No, it's not.
It was real. It's like, we're like creating, we're like bringing him back from the dead. That's what's weird about it.
It is so strange.
But then you have things where, like, James Earl Jones, before he passed away, like, recorded something to help AI be able to replicate his Darth Vader voice. And again, obviously you get it. It's an iconic character, but I don't know how I feel about things like that either. It's like, I get you want Vader to go on, but other people, like, I get it's his role, but I don't know. Either don't do the role anymore and just retire Vader and don't really do more like film and TV with him, or, have a different person who's capable of doing the voice or whatever. But I don't know. It's just so, this is the future, I guess. And like, that's why, when you say our studio's out of touch, sort of, but they also just don't care. They're trying to just force us into this future that we're all weirded out about.
But exactly, we're all weirded out about it. I don't think the audience is going to be like, oh, Val Kilmer's in this movie, I gotta see it. They're going to be like, what the fuck? And with James Earl Jones, I don't mind it. It is strange, but I don't fully mind it, because if you do it tastefully, you can do it, right? Have him show up in, Jedi Fallen Order. You have Vader show up and have 2 lines. He's a cameo. Or if he shows up in a future Star Wars thing and he has, just 1 line, a couple words, stuff like that. But they're purposely making him a major, major character in this movie, and that feels weird.
Yeah, I guess with Vader, it'd be more if you made him a major character in a film, like a live action film, and did it entirely with AI, James Earl Jones. If they
made a Darth Vader movie tomorrow and it was like, yeah, he's going to be the only voice you hear in this entire movie, that's weird.
Yeah, no, I agree.
If they had Val Kilmer show up as a cameo, an AI cameo, I'd feel weird about it, but I'd be like, okay, maybe they're honoring him. But this kind of just feels like they're using him, like, for money,
Right. And again, it's hard to even, like, all right, the estate got paid and he wanted it and the family gave their wishes. So it's like, on one hand, it's hard for us to complain because who's really being hurt? I guess that's not really the point, though. It's just, we don't want to normalize this. We don't
Yeah, I'm
want this to be
uncomfortable.
a thing. It's uncomfortable and it just doesn't feel right. Even if the person wanted it, and even if the family gives their wishes and their, the okay, like it just doesn't feel right to me. And so like this is, you know, part of me is going to be interested to at least maybe not see the movie, but definitely watch a few clips to see how it comes out, but I'm just, I don't like that this is the direction we're going in, and I don't like the power over Hollywood that AI has. And when you think about a lot of stuff you and I have talked about with Paramount, I watched this YouTube video recently, and this guy, I forget the channel name, so I'm sorry, but if you stumble upon our podcast and you know who I'm talking, you know who you are. He basically broke down like the entire consolidation of film and television from like the beginning to now. And, I mean, I knew a lot of it, but I didn't know all the specifics. And obviously there's like the 8 main studios from the classic era. And now there's only 3 controlling conglomerates on both sides of on that coin, film and television: Paramount, Disney, and Comcast, which is, Universal and all that. Like, that's it. Like, that's, and there's obviously like, you know, Netflix and Apple and Sony, but
Right,
they're
right.
smaller, Fox, like they're smaller. These are the big 3 they control. And the reason I'm bringing that up right now is because if they decide to really start utilizing AI to replace human artists, where's the competition going to come from, to fight against that? So it puts us, the consumer, in a bad spot where we don't have a choice anymore. And so it's just, the whole thing is very dire and very dystopian to me.
Yeah, I also think that no, you're 100% right. We're not gonna have a choice. We're just gonna have to deal with it, and that's what we were talking about with the whole Netflix thing. If Netflix got Warner Brothers, it's like if they don't put things out, we're just gonna. I mean, I still want to see those movies. We're just gonna have to deal with it, you know.
Right. Like,
If they
what
don't put them
choice
in
do we
theaters,
have?
yeah. So there is obviously that issue of just monopolization of media, but I also think it is just so stupid because remember when the Justice League movie came out, not the Snyder Cut, but the first one, and all anyone could talk about was Henry Cavill's CGI'd mustache when it was CGI'd away.
Yes. Yeah.
All anyone could talk about is just take pictures, screenshot, make memes about it. It looked like shit. And that was in 35 seconds of the movie, and that's all everyone talked about for the entirety of the movie, besides how bad it was. Val Kilmer being a prominent role in this movie, fully AI, fully CGI, whatever, I mean, it's gonna look bad. It's gonna look weird. We're all gonna be uncomfortable. That's all anyone's gonna talk about. Whoever are the writers of this movie or the artists behind it, even the director, like all their hard work is gonna get pushed to the side because all anyone's gonna care to talk about is Val Kilmer.
And when you have, I think it goes without saying, all these living actors who are probably more than capable of playing the role and doing a good job, why would you choose to go with the dead one? There's living people. And if you know that distraction that you're highlighting is going to happen, and you could just avoid it by casting someone who is still with us,
I
who
know.
can play the role, it feels like such an obvious issue to avoid. But what do I know? I don't run a studio, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
wonder.
It makes me uncomfortable. But
Imagine, like, I mean, I'm assuming this is not allowed. You can win an Oscar in death, but can you win an Oscar for a performance that's CGI or AI?
well, that's actually a really good point. Obviously, if you give a performance and you die after, but you are nominated for a performance you gave while you were alive, you can
Yeah.
posthumously win.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger did it for The Dark Knight,
Yeah. Chadwick
Uh,
Boseman was nominated.
he was nominated, almost won.
Yeah.
Catherine O'Hara at the SAG Awards won for the studio. It
Yeah.
was posthumous. So
And the AI, I'm assuming, is going to be based on his actual work and his acting abilities. So.
right. So that is a really good point, though, of like, I don't think there's a real clear answer yet to how, the Academy and other, awards are going to approach fully AI performances. Should they be in conversation? There was something I was going to mention on the podcast, like maybe a month or 2 ago, that we didn't have like time for. It was the AI actress Tilly. Her name is Tilly Norwood. She's
Oh,
like
yeah.
this. I don't know if you heard about
I've
this,
heard
but
of
she's
her.
like this completely AI actress that
Yeah.
they're going to start putting in projects. And it's like,
She looks AI too.
Can Tilly Norwood win an Oscar? She was never even a real person. At least
Yeah.
Val Kilmer was real. So the whole thing is a definite gray area that we're going to navigate for the first
Yeah.
time in this new AI era.
And I've seen videos of Tilly, and I think as of now we're fine with that question because there's no way that she's gonna even give a performance that's good enough for awards. And I don't think Val Kilmer's AI role is gonna be good enough for any awards either. I just think AI can make things look right, but people still notice that it's wrong, and AI can
Well, it
do a
doesn't
lot
have
of
that human
things,
element. Yeah.
but it doesn't have the human element that makes a performance great. I don't think that we're going to get anything great out of these performances. I don't even want to call it that.
Yeah, I know. It's not a performance because they're not doing
They're
it.
not performing anything. Some guy behind, you know what? The fucking guy who typed it into ChatGPT should get the award. Like, I don't
Best actor
understand.
goes to
At least he did something.
goes to like Phil from
Phil from IT.
yeah, Phil
He's
from
just typing
IT out in
shit.
he was based out in the Detroit office. He was just typing
Yeah.
things into a computer and
This strange world we live in, man.
yeah, man. So we'll see what happens, but I just wanted to get your take on that because, it's just crazy and we talk about how AI is really creeping up on us faster than we realize. So
Yeah.
all right. Well, we are finally at the end of this episode. Why don't we run some seesaw real quick?
Yeah. You I think you start because I started with Project Hail Mary, so it's only fair that we take turns.
Honestly, we've both done so much talking. I always do so much talking, so it doesn't even
Yeah, we've
matter.
been
I'll go
chatting it up.
first. Something I saw, I finally finished season 2 of Ted. I tried to drag it out a bit because I didn't want it to end, and
I know.
we're probably not getting a third one, but this show is so funny. It's just so, we've talked about it a little bit on here before, so I won't take too much time, but it's so funny. I mean, season 2 was almost better than the first season, dare I say. Like it had me cracking up every episode. And obviously, like, Ted is great, but we've talked about how great the side characters are. They're even better in this season.
Maddie's my
Maddie's
goat.
so good. And just like their interactions with one another. This is great. It's literally like live action Family Guy. Like it's literally just live action Family Guy.
Bro, the mom goes to prison, dude. That episode was so good.
Oh my god, yeah, she gets like caught with the weed,
Yeah.
like taking the cover for them. It's so good. I love the episode with the play when they do the fucking shrooms on the stage. That one was so good.
So good.
What a great show. And then something I want to see. The trailer just came out before we recorded, but I didn't get a chance to watch it. I did see the poster, and that's the 5th and final season of Hacks. This is such a great show. It's won a bunch of awards. Gene Smart obviously has gotten a lot of praise, and for good reason. I'm going to talk a bit more about this show when it comes out. Obviously, we'll only be able to do so much since you don't watch it, but it's a great show. It really deserves all the praise, and I'm very excited to see how they finally end this story here because it's really good. It is definitely one of the better shows on TV today.
Wow, 5 seasons? I thought it only came out like 2 years ago.
No, it's got 5. This is the 5th and final season. So, Gene Smart, Hannah Einbinder, like it is great stuff. It is really hilarious. I'm excited to see how they wrap it up.
Something that I want to see. I got 2 because I'm very excited for both these things. April is again it's going to be a great month. We're getting Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm very excited for that. Did you see that Rob was in one of the trailers? And Olimar? Not Olimar, but the Pikmin from Olimar?
No, I didn't see that. That's pretty cool.
2 characters from different franchises, still Nintendo, but different franchises. Smash? Just saying. Smash characters. Both Smash characters.
I really don't think that's going to happen. If they do a Smash movie, it's just going to be with Nintendo characters.
And people think Fox, also which is a Nintendo character. People think that there's a scene in the trailer where someone's got like a gun, and people are like, that's Star Fox.
Nah, this is stupid. We haven't even gotten Wario and Waluigi yet. I know. And we're getting these guys.
Maybe they'll give the movies the Waluigi treatment and just not mention him ever.
Yeah. At least give us Wario then. Like, what the hell?
But I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for The Boys Season 5. I didn't love Season 4, but Season 5, very excited for that to end. I'm watching Gen V Season 2 right now. I'm a couple episodes in, but Boys Season 5, gonna be goated. Something I'm watching, I've watched. Ben 10 Alien Force is what I'm watching right now. I'm rewatching it. I fucking love Ben 10, dude. I would eat that shit up every day. I've just been rewatching the whole series. There's like 3 or 4 series that are around, It's Ben 10, Ben 10 Alien Force, Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, Ben 10 Omniverse, and then the reboot that's just called Ben 10. So there's 5 series for Ben 10. I've only seen the first 3, so I've been rewatching those. I'm on the second one right now. And then I've never seen Omniverse or the reboot, so eventually I'll get to those. But I love Ben 10. It's something I could talk about forever, and it's just peak. I love it. It's so good, and this is like an adult. It's something you grow up with. He's 10 years old in the first one, and he's 15 in the second one, and it's way more. It's darker. It's deeper. It's more emotional. It's more adult. So Ben 10, Alien Force, goated.
No, that's cool. The thing with the boys, I saw the first season of Gen V. I really
Yeah.
liked it. There's no reason for me to not watch season 2. It's not gonna happen. Not before the boys season 5. I don't have enough time, and once the boys season 5 comes out, I'm not gonna have any reason to watch Gen V season 2.
Well, you
So
might. I don't know. That's what I thought because I started watching Gen V season 2 only because when the boys trailer came out, there's characters from Gen V in there,
right, right.
and I was
I
like,
was
oh
just
shit, I
gonna.
don't know if I'm gonna miss out on
I'm
anything.
just gonna look up what I need to know
Really?
from
Yeah, because
season 2.
Gen V, I like it, but it's not the boys. It's nothing.
It's not the boys. I've already started to get a little more tired of the boys in a way that I'm not with Invincible, like to compare.
Yeah,
I
I
know
agree.
I know I talked about like peaks where I don't know if Invincible's reached it again. It's still been consistently a great show though. Like don't mistake myself.
Yeah,
But the boys, it's been good, but it's starting it's starting to stay out its welcome. You know what I mean?
I think the boys has
Um,
2 great seasons, and then the other 2 are just okay. So
like
like, I don't
I
know.
I don't know. I really liked the first season of Gen V, but then Chance Perdomo passed away, and I don't know. I
Yeah,
just don't feel I don't feel inclined to watch it, and especially with like not even a month to go. Like less than a month before season 5 of The Boys, which I am gonna watch. It's like
yeah,
I'm watching other stuff, Invincible. I'm probably about to start The Pit. You got Hacks coming out. Like
yeah. No, I get it. I've been
it's not
trying to
gonna
get through
happen.
season 2 of Gen V for like a month, and I'm only on episode 3.
Yeah, it's just not
So
gonna happen.
it's just not. They handled Andre's death in the show. They kill him off. They handle it well, but it's just I don't know. I'm getting bored of that world, you know.
Yeah, me too.
So
Me
I
too.
don't know. All right, that's our episode. What a good
Ah,
time, man. What a good time chatting with you.
I love it.
Yeah, man.
I could sit here all night. If
We
only, but I'm
if only I
hungry. But
wasn't
I could.
starving.
Yeah, if only I wasn't starving so much. But I could sit here forever. Otherwise, if
Yeah.
I didn't need food, this would be my sustenance.
Yeah, yeah, I would live off this stuff, man. No, thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you follow us on all socials. We're on everything you could think of at Box Office Dynasty. Uh, comment, film, Bible study, numbers. We're watching Mad Max and Mad Max Fury Road for next week. We'll be reviewing both of those. I've never seen them. Josh has seen them, but he's gonna rewatch them, and we're gonna chat about that.
I've been
What
getting a
else?
lot of rewatches lately for Bible study.
Yeah, out of a book with over 1,000
I
movies.
think this
That's
is the
insane.
third straight thing we've watched where I had already seen it. I seen All About Eve, and then I don't know what we watched before that, but
Get Out.
that was not before that.
Yeah. Oh no, right before. Oh, you're talking about Straight. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
row.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's been a lot. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. No, you got anything else?
uh, no, that does it for me. Thank you for tuning in. Share with your fellow friends and film lovers. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. Peace, guys.